Principal Scientist, CFTRI Mysuru, Professor Shama Hiremat, co-founder and CEO, Trident Diagnostics and Healthcare Private Limited, Bengaluru, Dr. C.N. Manoj, CEO, Pelican Biotech and Chemical Labs, Kerala, faculty members and all participants to the national webinar on blooming careers in biochemistry. Biochemistry is a branch of science which deals with the chemistry of living organisms and that of their biological processes. A career in biochemistry will involve the person's ability to comprehend the chemical combinations and reactions that will take place because of the biological processes such as growth, reproduction, metabolism, heredity, etc. One arena of the science will also look into the effect that the organism has on its environment. People who are in the field of biochemistry are often referred to as biochemists. It is their job to study the structures and functions of enzymes, proteins, carbohydrates, fats, the process of metabolism, and the molecular basis of the action of genes also form a part of biochemistry. Today, the field is gaining momentum and importance because of its ability to make significant contributions towards illumination and grasping of the DNA structure. Mostly, biochemists are involved in research related works. Biochemists can choose from a variety of specializations, and almost all the specializations require good research techniques and the ability to combine and analyze information. More insightfulness about the careers in biochemistry would be given by our eminent guest speakers of the day. Before navigating into the technical sessions, any event to be successful requires the blessings of Almighty. So let's start with the prayer song. Akshay sir.
शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे पापम् सन्ध्यादीपनमोऽस्तु ते ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः आरोग्यं देहि पुत्रांश्च मतिं स्वच्छां हि मे सदा रवेरस्तं समारभ्य यावत् सूर्योदयो भवेत् रवेरस्तं समारभ्य यावत् सूर्योदयो भवेत् यस्य तिष्ठेत् गृहे दीपः तस्य नास्ति दरिद्रता शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
Now I request our principal ma'am to address the gathering. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. My dear students and participants, colleagues, and other friends. Today, we are going to listen from the experts of biochemistry. As all of you know, we are into an age of highly interdisciplinary period, and highly interdisciplinary science is really taking over. In this scenario, you cannot have any subject as one subject is favorite and other subject I don't like. But every subject is connected to each other, and every subject is having equal amount of opportunities with your if you put your efforts with your passion. I I request all the students, participants, and take the advantage of this particular seminar where you have industry giants and academic experts. It is really difficult to listen to them personally because all of them are very, very busy people in their tight schedules. They accepted our invitation and they are going to give you an insight about biochemistry. I know all of you are having, when you chose one subject as a life science, it may be food, it may be nutrition, it may be microbiology, it may be biotechnology, it may be biochemistry by itself. In every subject, biochemistry is a little hard nut to crack for many students. This is because we don't connect it to the other subjects. Try to connect it to your subject and try to learn, and so that you can really enjoy the subject and take the fullest benefits of that. With this small introduction, I welcome you for this webinar. We are trying to give our best because the technical issues may be there in between, but I request you to uh, cope up with this and try to have the connectivity till the end and try to enjoy the webinar. And this webinar is really a unique amalgamation of people from industry and academics and institutions like CFTR. I wish you all the best and take the advantage of the seminar. Over to Netra.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your valuable words. Now, we will move on to our technical sessions. So, our first speaker for the day is Mr. N.S. Srinath, Director, Merck Life Sciences, Bengaluru. Mr. Srinath is completed BE Mechanical and he is the alumni of IIM Bengaluru. With Merck, he is associated since 1989. Totally, he has 32 years of experience in varied profiles like sales, technical services, operations, site management in different countries like USA, UK, Germany, and India. Presently, working as Director for Shared Business Services of Merck Life Science, a global delivery center managing a team of over 2,000 employees, on Board of Studies and honorary visiting faculty to RV College of Engineering, Bengaluru, working as a co-committee member of Sri Shankara Cancer Hospital, a charitable hospital at Bengaluru. Sir, on behalf of Padma Shri Institute of Management and Sciences, a warm welcome to you. It's our privilege to have you, sir. Over to you now.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Netra. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yeah, thank you. So I'd like to thank the entire management and the teaching faculty of Padma Shri. The reason why, again, I'm very passionate about this particular topic is somehow I always feel that I need to be connected with the students because I draw a lot of energy through this. And Padma Shri is one of the institute where I have been on a regular touch, and I'm really glad about today's curriculum as well as the topic. Just to give a quick update about today's topic, just to give you a quick update, I've been asked to speak about the job landscape in the biochemistry industry. Just 1 minute. Are you able to see my screen, please? Dr. Netra, are you able to see my screen?
No, sir, not yet.
Not yet. Just share the screen.
Yes, sir. Now it's visible.
Oh, it's
Yes.
visible? Okay, good. So just to give you a quick update, who we are, this is about Merck. We are a global multinational, a German company. We have 57,000 employees, and we are based at more than 66 countries. The company was founded in 1668. This is the first pharma and chemical company on the earth. And we are, in terms of business, more than 16.2 billion euros as of last year. And this year, again, our books are to be closed. And that's the reason why we haven't published. But otherwise, we are growing at the CAGR of 10%. The interesting point why I would like to highlight here is the amount what we spend on the R&D, close to 2.2 billion euros. This is so important. The reason is, for any company to be successful, you need to be reinvesting and reinventing into the R&D, and that's one of the reasons why our, even though we are 352-year-old company, we have a great future because year on year the R&D spend is quite good, and we come across a lot of new products year on year. Just to give you a quick update, Merck is working with more than 60 companies globally to develop the COVID vaccine. The entire downstream, starting from the fermentation till the final sterilization, as well as the form, as well as the filling, we support our customers in all the unit operations. In India, of course, we have been working with 4 customers who are in the advanced stage of developing the vaccine. But globally, we have been working with close to 60 companies. Another important topic is also we support most of our COVID. If you see the COVID testing, we support a lot of raw material. We supply a lot of raw material for the COVID testing. So that means that even during this pandemic, we have done extremely well as an organization, and more than that, we are extremely happy that we are for a right cause, the company, because we are a pharma and a biopharmaceutical company. Coming back to the topic now, in fact, they introduced me as a mechanical engineer. Yes, I started that is my education background. I'm a mechanical engineer followed by an IIM graduation. I had a great passion towards biology and chemistry. And that's the reason early in my career, when I started my career, I went back to US to work with Merck in the technical services, which means that I'm supposed to read a lot both on these 2 topics, because when we provide the technical services to our customers and our colleagues who visit the customer, we need to be sound on the technical aspect. And Merck is an organization where it is highly interdisciplinary, and we all need to start our career with some background. And the products what we manufacture has mechanical, electrical, then we have software to run the systems. Then you need to be highly skilled both on chemistry as well as biology, because we work with our customers who produce the pharmaceutical and biopharmaceutical products, and you need both at the R&D and production as well as in the quality control. And that's why Merck, we have highly interdisciplinary skills, and biochemistry is one of that. And I'll let you know very soon why it is so important for us in our organization, uh, especially the both biochemistry and microbiology. Just to give you a life science industry overview, the global life science industry market forecast in billions is, as of last year, it was close to $1,300 billion. And again, the IVD and research tools, I don't know how many of you understand IVD. These are all the tools which is used in the pharmaceutical industry. Say, for example, the pacemaker, the stents, all these are classified under IVD market. And by 2022, it is expected to be close to around $1,466 billion. And with even the IVD market growing to $126 billion. It's approximately growing at 4.5% CAGR for especially with the emerging technologies in regenerative medicine. In fact, I still remember I worked with a company in US where they were producing the artificial skin. And again, biochemistry and microbiology plays a major role. The drug delivery system, there is so much which is happening in this area today. And CRISPR technology is something which is very unique. I'm sure most of you have read. Otherwise, I recommend, because of the lack of time, I'm not able to spend much. And we at Merck has a few patents on this CRISPR technology. And this is so important, especially when you are coming up with especially when you are coming up with the new biotechnology products. Biosensors, highly recommended. And again, it is another area which is catching up so fast, especially because now what happens is earlier we used to have huge stainless steel vessels as fermenters. And today it's all disposable. It's all pre-sterilized and very fast to assemble. And biosensors plays a major role in the entire downstream. Next generation sequencing, tissue engineering, and liquid biopsy. These are a few examples where the life science industry is really growing to the next level. Just to give a few examples about the industry, I would like to give, these are only a few. Sartorius is there, Merck is there, Thermo Fisher is there, Danaher is again, it's a agglomeration of multiple companies, but most of it revolving around both chemistry and biology. Alembic, Cipla, Cadila, Novartis, all these are the product companies. So what are the job options? First, let me speak about our own organization before we even jump into the general industry trend and where all we have opportunities for a biotech. At Merck, in my own center, every year we hire approximately around 300 masters in biochemistry. Primarily, there are 4 divisions where they support me and our organization. The first is content curation. You all know that these days the business, especially during pandemic, was done through e-commerce. E-commerce is nothing but through your website. And Merck is one of the largest e-commerce company in the life science industry, with close to 2 billion euros of our business coming from e-commerce. So when you need to be doing your business through e-commerce, the content what you write on your product, which goes into the website, is very important. And we have biochemists because we have a lot of chemicals, because Merck Life Sciences is a consolidation of Sigma Aldrich, which is a chemical company. Then we have Millipore, which is another life science company where again it is a combination of both biotechnology, microbiology, and biochemistry. So these two companies put together, you must have known that we have more than 300,000 products in this arena. And all the content to be written for the new products which comes out from the R&D, and also to curate the content of the existing products so that we stand fast when somebody tries to find out a product from the website. So our products shows up fast because of the content. Why we need postgraduates? Because they need to refer a lot of research papers and a lot of other details, and then they need to look at the citations and also look at then they need to give a link, they need to give a reference of those publications and so on in the website. And that's how it is so important that we hire biochemists to write the content of our products, which gets published in our web. The second area where we hire is on the compliance. Since we have 300,000 products, every country, wherever we sell our products in more than 150 countries. Every country has their own rules, and we need to declare the product, whatever we have, and the composition in their respective governmental portal. And we have the biochemists working on it because these are highly chemical products, so that these contents are uploaded in their masters in biochemistry working on it. The third one is in terms of MSDS, that is Material Safety Data Sheet. We are obliged to declare every product, whatever we make, in terms of the material safety data sheet. We need to publish and we need to also ship with every product. And this, depending upon the country, it has to be again refreshed once in 2 years to 5 years, depending upon the country where we are selling. So the biochemists play a major role in preparing the material safety data sheet and also in refreshing it. Another important area where our team works is on the technical services. When once the product is sold, the customers from different parts of the world, they call our center because we work 5 shifts a day, 24/5. Depending upon the country where we operate, the technical services team, which are either masters or PhDs, so they answer the customer's call, supporting them and clearing them in case if they have any issues in using our product. This is another area. Of course, other than this, we do have the labs in India. In Bangalore itself, we have multiple labs, and we do have analytical chemists, biomedical scientists working on this, biotechnologists, because we do a lot of trials for the customers, and academic researcher. So these are some of the key areas. And the other area, in fact, you will be hearing from other speakers about clinical research, associate to be in that area, clinical scientist, forensic scientist, another area which is picking up. I recommend some of you to look at how interesting it is and how much it has developed in terms of the forensic science itself. And of course, medicinal chemist is another area. Nanotechnology is another area which is picking up very much, and we work a lot in this area, and a lot of companies are investing and they are working. And another area where with this background of biochemistry, you should be able to focus. And pharmacologist, physician, associate research scientist, and scientific laboratory technician. So these are some of the areas where you could look at it. If you see R&D and manufacturing and service industry, we have categorized post MSc and PhD. There are areas where you can specifically focus. And in fact, I will share these slides with the management and you could refer. And if any one of you have any doubts on this, you are most welcome to reach me out. And definitely, I would like to guide you on this topic. And process development is something which I would like to highlight because this is something which is very, very close to my heart, and this is one of the favorite topic which I also teach. When you have individual unit operations, and if you are developing a process to consolidate all this and come up with a product from the R&D to the actual production, the process development scientists play, or else the engineers play a major role, and biochemists play a major role in this area, and you should really focus on this because this is something which is so important to get the yield and to ensure that we support the industry. Again, with respect to the service industry, scientific liaison or subject matter experts is something which is very important. Publication industry, I just explained, compliance and regulatory support, which I explained to some extent, and clinical data management. Again, we are opening up in our own organization to support our own internal requirement. Business development, very important. If somebody has probably some appetite towards the business. So sales, marketing support, and business development, even post MSc and PhD, is very much open, because the industries where I showed, all this biopharmaceutical industry, we look for people with masters or even PhD in this area. So biochemistry opportunities, if you see across, there are multiple industries where you will be able to focus and get deep into it. And IT services is also one of the area where we do hire the biochemists for telemedicine, digital healthcare, because digital healthcare is a big thing where we collaborate. We bring in the expertise both from the software as well as from the biochemistry, and to develop a new tool for our own internal requirement as well as to our customers. CRO, which you all know, and so environmental science is another area which it is picking up in a big way. So look at all this industry carefully when once you are through, and definitely there are a lot job opportunities in each of these areas. So what is the roles and responsibilities, and what are the core skills? I will share this slide so that again it can be dispersed to all of you. You can refer at any given point of time. And yeah, with this I would like to conclude. And any questions, because since I think we are running out of time.
Thank you very much, sir, for your insightful presentation. You highlighted about the vaccine production, also how a person need to be very sound in technical aspects, and also you told about the job opportunities in R&D, manufacturing, service industry, and very important the roles and responsibilities of a biochemist. Thank you very much, sir. Now it's open to questions. You can raise your hand option, the participants. Please highlight your raise hand option, and you would be unmuted to ask the questions.
Before moving on to the question and answer session, I'm really thank you, sir. I really thank you for your presence virtually. It is really great. Whenever we approach you, you immediately accept our invitation, and you are trying to do give your best to the students. And it is really needed. Students need to listen from a person who is and could able to do so well in life science industry. And this is really a very good inspiration to the students and a message to the students that it is the passion which is very, very important. And it is the kind of hard work, and at the same time with all motivation and inspiration you could able to do so well. Really thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
And see if there are any questions, please take these questions. Netra and Akshay, please move on if there are no questions, or otherwise give an option to the students to ask questions.
If there are no other questions, just a last statement from my side to all the students. You evaluate carefully, especially at the beginning of your career, because I see a lot of students wandering from one role to the other. Sometimes they are in the lab, sometimes they come out of the lab subsequently and they work in a dry lab. Then they move into another part. So be very clear what you are good at it and what you are passionate about it. Because I just gave you a glimpse of so many different options which is available. And be very clear, in case if you have any clarifications, go back to your professors, or else reach out to one of the industry expert who can give you a little bit of an idea, and spend probably not less than a week or 10 days to understand, and then get into it, because that can take you a long way. A, passion; B, the drive; and three, C, very important, the consistency for you to move forward.
Sir, there are two questions.
Yeah.
One is typed in chat box, that is Tanisha Chakravarti. Sir, the jobs you told about is all for biochemistry, or they're also from biotechnology? What are the opportunities for a biotechnologist? I understand in this way for a biotechnologist in a pharma company.
Very good question. See, what happens is both biotechnologists as well as biochemists, if you see the curriculum, more or less, there are some overlaps. Depending upon the industry where you would like to get into, you may have to put in a little more efforts when once you take, especially when you are working as an intern in that organization. Because we hire approximately 100 interns every year and I train them in my own center. The reason is I do have, as I mentioned, I have teams with microbiology, biotechnology, biochemistry, organic chemistry, both masters and PhDs in this segment. And of course, even there are chemical engineers. Now, quickly, you will find out during your internship when I post the team, when we post the team, when we post the students into different areas, whatever interests them, that is the area where probably they may have to do a little more deep dive and probably enroll for some additional certifications to get deeper into it. Because today the industry is highly dependent on the cross talent. Because of biotechnology, there are, just to give you a quick update, there are mechanical engineers who have become one of the best coding experts in our own company, and they have developed some of the softwares, which is a blockbuster for us. So between biochemistry and biotechnology, there is a very good match and there is a very good overlap, and it is interdisciplinary. Only thing is there may have to be a fine tune which is required once you get into the industry.
It really reminds me, sir, uh, with my own experience, Professor Heble from BARC, he was an organic chemist, but he is an excellent tissue engineering and plant tissue culture person, where he could able to really make it a successful field to develop many industrial oriented technical know-hows for the production of metabolites. See, these are all highly interdisciplinary. On behalf of students, I would like to really ask you one more thing. Sir, what is the procedure to get into an intern at Merck, whether it is after the course or while doing in their fourth semester or the last semester, they can apply for the internship. What is the procedure and what skills you will be looking for, sir?
In fact, I've been working with Dr. Indu on this topic in the last 3 to 6 months to evaluate whether we could hire some of your own students as interns for us. And still, it is a process, and we continue to evaluate. And I think we must have hired one or two. What my suggestion is, when you are in the final year, I recommend you to get in touch in the final semester with our own hiring department, which there's a separate cell which I can put, and Dr. Indu knows about them because I have given all the contacts to her. So through that, when once you get into the organization, as I told you, internship is for 1 year and it is a paid internship. We spend approximately around 4 lakhs on every intern because we wanted, especially when they come from rural India, or else when they come from other cities, we also need to be supporting them instead of they depending on their parents. So we provide transportation, we provide food, and we also provide stipend to those students. And we train them extensively in different departments. As I told you, we train in different, probably every 2 months, we move them from one group to the other. And after that, we evaluate in which of the stream they are good at it and they are passionate about it. There are two areas. One, even if they are 70%, even if they score 70% in the overall test, depending upon the passion what they show, we train them on the rest and we make them as a full time, and then we absorb them into the organization. And of course, from there the growth starts. And Merck being a global organization, after 3 to 4 years, they are eligible to apply for any global role across our any centers in the world, and they move into those roles within the organization. Because you just heard, I worked almost in 6 to 8 countries in my tenure, and that is the role which Merck offers. And of course, this gives you a good fit with respect to different cultures, different requirements of the organization, and you will be truly a global citizen once you work with our organization. Yeah.
Akshay, Ashwin has raised their hand, so please unmute them. Two participants have raised their hands.
Okay, ma'am. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Uh, Sir, which type of skills are required for the companies to get a job, or practical skills or theoretical knowledge?
You need to have both because unfortunately practical I don't expect much, especially in the Indian context, because I've been discussing this with many industry, many organizations, as I told you, in RV college. Even though
Okay,
they
sir.
we fed them with a lot of industrial exposure by building different centers within the institute, still it is not sufficient. So if you are good academically and if you have a flair to learn, the industry exposure is something which is during the internship what we offer and we train. So only one thing is you need to be good at your academics so that the basics should be strong. And whatever you learned, you should be applying it in the industry when once you are hired, so that you should be able to correlate why are we doing it in a particular way. And that is where again the industry and the academy reference comes hand in hand. So your academics should be stronger and the industry exposure during the internship is so important that your learning curve should really be going up like a hockey stick from the time you join to the time you complete your internship.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So there is one more question from the participant. They're
Yeah.
asking what about the C&D job opportunities in life science company, clinical nutrition and dietetics job opportunities?
See, there are a couple of things. As I told you, one, a lot of CROs are coming and a lot of companies are coming up and setting up the centers and already established. In fact, there are other speakers who should be speaking on that topic in the coming because since for the lack of time, I would really appreciate if you can hold this question and when once all the other presenters are through, you should be asking this question because I do see a faculty from CFTRI on this topic. But once you are through, because there is a lot of collaboration between with CFTRI, because we ourselves had collaborated with their fermentation department, and I also work with very closely with a few other departments. So please hold this question to when once all the presentations are through. Definitely, you will find an answer.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. If there are no other questions, thank you very much. And I wish good luck to all the students and be passionate. And one thing, again, normally I do tell, and in a closing remark, please ask whenever you have doubts, because there are chances that the rest of the team, whosoever is participating with you, might not know the answer and they might be waiting for somebody to be asking the questions. So be selfish whenever you attend such forum, and it's extremely important to learn from these because as Professor Anuradha did mention, each of the industry faculty, they are passionate and they put time to ensure that the next generation is prepared. And we also are selfish because we wanted the students who come to our organization to be well aware and make the right choices in their life. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Now we will move on to our next speaker for the day, Dr. R.P. Singh, Senior Principal Scientist, CSIR, CFTRI, Mysore. Sir completed his PhD in 1989. He has worked as JRF from 84 to 86, like SRF 86 to 89, and he was a research associate from 89 to 90. He has worked as research associate, scientist B, scientist C, scientist E1, scientist E2 at CSIR, CFTRI, Mysuru from 1992 like 2009. Then he's working as senior principal scientist in CSIR CFTRI Mysuru from Jan 2010 till date. He has 35 publications and 3 patents. He has received the Best Poster Award for the research work antioxidant activity of extracts from pomace of grape He has also published papers on the research work like antioxidant activity of grape seed extracts on perioxidation models in vitro and the antioxidant activity of pomegranate peel and seed extracts using in vitro models. The above two papers mentioned have been positioned at number 11 and 12 respectively in the 70 best cited papers of CSIR publications in 70 years. Sir, a hearty welcome to you for the technical session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, and very good morning to all of you, those who have were in the meeting, or especially the management who has asked me to be a part of this meeting. And at the outset, I would like to thank first, and especially Principal Madam, because one of your statement when you made that biochemistry is very hard not to crack. You have really eased my talk. So I think students also they must be having a little bit tough time in biochemistry. But anyway, it's a biochemistry now. Uh, I mean, there is no escape. And as our previous speaker was telling that, or maybe even principal also, she has mentioned that now we don't talk of any subject which is independent. It is all interdisciplinary things are there. And whether my slides are visible now?
Not
Am I
yet, sir.
audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir. Your slides are not visible, sir.
Just 1 minute. Is it okay now?
Not yet, sir.
Not yet. Okay. Should we just try to share my slides? Yeah, full display. Okay. Is it visible now?
Not yet, sir. Yes, sir. Now it's visible.
It's visible.
Yes, sir.
Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is it moving? The slides are moving, ma'am?
Yes, sir. It's moving.
Okay. So I was given the topic to the confluence of biochemistry and food, being a part of Food Research Institute, Central Food Technological Research Institute under the aegis of CSIR. So I just substantiate what ma'am has told that biochemistry is hard not to crack. To be very frank, because we offer a course in food technology, that is a MSc in food technology. That's one of the prestigious course running in this country, and for that we have very strong competition all over the country, and we get thousands of applications. Only we select 30 students. Unfortunately, this year because of this COVID, we got only 18 students, and Just in a lighter way, I'll tell you, many times students will ask, why biochemistry in food? Then what I explain to them, maybe I'll try to explain to these students or maybe audience which are listening me. Uh, my previous speaker, Mr. Srinath, he has told that now there is no, or even ma'am also he has told that there is no nothing like what you call individuality of the subject. You can't call it, I am biochemist, I am microbiologist, I am what you call this food technologies like that. Because until you don't have interdisciplinary approach, I mean, it may not be a good thing to succeed. To begin with, let us see food. I just start with these are the slides. I start with my for my students also. Food as such, I mean, it is taken for growth and development. Everybody knows about that, and for environment. Now, this environment portion is not much because of this COVID. Otherwise, anything is there. Any celebration for that matter. Let us go and have a cup of tea. Let us have a dosa. Let us have something as per your requirement. You can go and have. It's got social value in our system. Any function, any what you call social function, starting from birth till death, it is always, I mean, uh, it is always joined by this food. So food has got its own importance in our system. Now, we have a lot of food scientists and food technologists. What do they do? Food science, what is that actually? This is a convenient name given to describe the application of scientific principles to create and maintain a wholesome food supply. Because the the food science and ultimately the person who is running food science is food scientist. How he can contribute towards? Please just mark these words: create and maintain a wholesome food supply. It's not creating only. Okay, you have created one day, but not that. Okay, it is actually the chapter is closed. You have to maintain a wholesome supply, food supply for a very long time. Similarly, food technologist, application of knowledge of food science to operate, design, and manage the facilities and equipment, because in the engineering aspects also it is included in the processing and storage of food. Not that only that you process, you make a product, and also you have to store also, and also for sufficient time, what you call shelf life in our technical terms. Role of food scientists and technologists, because if you are looking anything for in terms of I mean placement as far as biochemist in food and food institute, food industry as such, I think previous speaker also has mentioned, it is largest in the world. We call it sunshine industry, needs highly trained professionals in food science and technology to ensure the supply, quality and safety of foods for everybody on this planet. Food scientists, they apply chemistry, biochemistry, microbiology, and engineering. These all, I mean, I told you, food technology is not a subject, it is an amalgam of, frankly speaking, in our MSc food technology, we teach 16 subjects, and one of the subjects is biochemistry. Uh, Took research, develop process, evaluate package, and market the food. These are all things ultimately food technologists and food scientists, they have to perform at different levels. It is determine quality and properties of the food, that okay, whether food is safe, value, flavor, palatability, color, texture, and these are the terms we use in the food while describing a good quality food. Biochemistry and microbiology means ultimately it has to be safe, microbiologically and biochemically as well. Food technology, they apply their knowledge of food science to operate, design, and manage the facilities and equipment involved in the processing and storage of food. I mean, this is all the role. Suppose you get a placement or a job in any food research institute or industry. These are things you are supposed to look after once you are there in the hem of affairs. Similarly, it is involved in research and development of new food products. It is not that okay, whatever has been developed yesterday, it has to continue. It has to be developed further. It has to be developed to the taste and palate of the people, and maybe for taste of other different age groups. That is by applying new technologies in the processing of the foods. So foods and technology should need the familiarity with chemistry, chemistry, microbiology, biochemistry. I highlighted because it is, I mean, totally we are talking about biochemistry and engineering aspect. I told you this is all the elements of food technologies. Coming to the topic, what I have been given to be very frank, I was really very, I don't know how to express, because when you talk about biochemistry and food, I don't know where to separate biochemistry and where to separate from the food. It was so much amalgamated. Maybe I'll discuss my forthcoming slides. Apart from natural changes, what happens in case of any what you call commodity, let us say fruits or vegetables or grains, anything for that matter, which affect the quality. Biochemistry of food, it attempts to emphasize the importance of biochemistry in the field of food science and to understand it deeper of those chemical changes which may occur in food in later stages, because our institute, it is more mainly focusing on food post-harvest technology. Once it is harvested from the field, then how it has to be processed further. There comes the role of CFTRI, post-harvest technology, which is our main what you call focus. Food biochemistry, if you see that one, again I'll tell you it is food biochemistry. But once I go, because I just go through what you call this course content also, let us see. Very difficult to separate pure biochemistry from food biochemistry. It includes utilization of modern chemical and biochemical analytical methods of food components and their reactions to study their reactions and effort. These are statistical tools for data analysis to get the maximum informative value. Okay, so I thought, okay, since this is going to be a seminar or webinar rather on role of biochemistry and food, how they are merged together. I thought I'll just take because we are teaching this subject. But once you go for the, let us say, I try to look into one book of food biochemistry, they called it. I thought, let us see what are things they are having. And to be very frank, if you see these topics, for example, starting from constituents of foodstuffs, it is not that, okay, here you can see simple carbohydrates and derived product structure, isolation, pentosis, exos, these things you can go. I mean, I just rushed through because these are nothing new. You can find it anywhere. What I want to tell is that in biochemistry, you study all these things. But if you see their importance, food, I mean, you can't say that they don't have any importance. So that's why biochemistry, I think it is just like umbilical cord relationship between biochemistry and food, or food science and food technology. Polysaccharides, just go through that. I mean, I'm not going to read it one by one, otherwise it will be very boring and I'll take about 2 hours, which is not, I'm not supposed to go for that. So it's starches and glycogen, important components of the food sample. Cellulose, there is substances from marine, glycosaminoglycan. These are one of the high research topics as of now. Call it GAGs or glucopolysaccharides, polysaccharides, and the gelling process, lipids, fatty acids, and these are the things. I'm just taking what I told you. I'm just taking the contents what I could see in a food biochemistry book, the syllabus, or we can say contents, facts, you cannot take them just standalone. Okay, they have a lot of role in food as well. Proteins, my favorite topic, because this particular thing I'm teaching for the last 30 years. When I came to CFTI, I studied from amino acid, peptide, protein structure, scleral protein, functional properties of proteins. And see, if you see the proteolysis, now it is proteolysis in general, let us see, proteolysis, the breakdown of the proteins. Okay, why it is required? Because with this proteolysis, what native protein we are going to incorporate in a food system, if you subject it for a certain degree of proteolysis, whether it can affect the quality of food. Ultimately, the food is, as we always tell in our system, that consumer is the king. We have to cater to the needs of consumer. Not that, okay, we have, it's very tricky subject in the sense that you may have a food which has got very good, what you call it, nutritive value, it has got very good, all those things, shelf life, stability, and ultimately is not liked by consumer, of no use. It has to be thrown out of the shelves of the market. All right. So we have to cater to the needs of food, and as I told, the consumer should be on top priority. Minerals, I mean, again, I'm just rushed through major elements, trace elements, biological activity. These are all being taught in biochemistry in general, right? Any biochemistry book, or food biochemistry, what I'm referring to, you see these things are always taught. But can you separate them from what you call food? Because if any food is there, for example, for a cardio patient, let us say, you always think that the person should have a low sodium diet, right? You can't give anything what is available around you, because you are a biochemist, you are a food technologist, you have developed product and it has to be consumed by everybody. No, not like that. Vitamins, and the stability of vitamins, there are two types of vitamins, water soluble, fat soluble, and you have to see that at the end of the game, when the product is ready, whether how much stable the vitamins are there, what was there in the raw material. Otherwise, as I told you, food is very good because it is liked by people, but again, nutrition is not there. So it is like you have to balance, strike a balance between the, the nutrition, the taste, and the quality, and ultimately liked by the consumer. Water, of course, water activity plays very important role as far as shelf life is concerned because you have to have the stable food product in the system as much as possible. Properties of water, uh, uh, free and bound water that I'm not going to discuss about whether it is very boring water activity and modification of food. Pigments, of course, chlorophylls, flavonoids, and their derivatives, other compounds. These are all, I mean, these are the components of the food. Remember, for example, those who are having, I mean, now because it is, it's not very apt to ask because I think people don't go to hotels and all very often. You might have seen that those who enjoy a dish like palak paneer, I mean, I hope everybody knows about that. What you have seen palak, what you have seen palak paneer, there is a lot of difference in the color color of the product, this paneer and palak paneer and the palak as such. What happens? During this processing, when you cook it, when you process it for making a product, you get a lot of changes. And can you sterilize these things so that it can come close to the what you call native color of the palak? Remember, for that, you are not supposed to add any artificial color and all the things. Otherwise, there are systems which can really catch it. So now from what you call basic components, let us see the come to products, cereals, bread, cereal grains. Okay, cereal grains because you have to have the idea about the raw material, how it is, its composition, reserve proteins, wheat, glycans, and glutenins. You might have heard about that. Totally together it forms what is known as gluten protein and ultimately determines the quality of bread by the formula and ultimately bread. You go to market and you see a variety of breads, but ultimately one becomes your choice. Maybe on basis of your tasting or as a maybe sensory, you say, okay, this bread is good, is not good. Why? Because it is not up to my taste. Remember in that when it is a wheat bread, the protein, wheat, gliadins, and lutein, of course, and followed by some modifications that plays a role. So I ultimately find that one particular bread is selling very well, others gets knocked off from the shelves. Protein found leguminous plants, soybean, and these all again I just rush through fermented drinks. These are all food components or food biochemistry very involved in that. Fermentation, wine and beer. In wine and beer is also considered as food as of now. Cloudiness in beer, that is one of the important aspects of the beer. Everybody likes that haziness of beer. But
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Yeah, there is some network issue.
Hello, sir. Your audio and your screen is freezed, sir. Can you please refresh?
He is unable to hear me.
Dr. Indu, can you send a message to him?
Sorry for the inconvenience, participants. We will be back in 1 minute.
Dear participants, sorry for this mild interruption because maybe there is a problem with his network connectivity. Till then, you can type your questions to him in the chat box, or you can think about the why we have chosen the subject, why it is so important. I think he's back. What are the various opportunities in food, pharma, diagnostics, and nutraceutical industry for the person who is skilled in biochemistry or who is passionate about that? It doesn't mean that only biochemistry students can join those companies. There are opportunities, but as a plant biotechnologist, many times I felt that I would have had little more stronger background in biochemistry. I will tell you one example. People are nowadays, I think you might be listening to the beyond meat or meatless meat. In this, what exactly they are talking, they want a plant based protein or a plant based amino acid or a plant based some substance which will taste like meat, where they can introduce instead of meat. In such a scenario, what all the things you need to know? You need to know the complete profile, biochemical profile, which is really giving the taste and flavor to that meat. Then you can compare with your plant-based proteins and you can come out with a
Am I
solution
audible
for this
now?
problem. Yes, sir. You are audible, sir, now. You can take over, sir. I was just
Okay.
managing with the students. Yeah. Please go ahead, sir.
This slides are visible now.
Yes, sir.
Slides are visible, sir.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Sorry, it was a technical snag. I mean, neither it is in control in your hands or not in mine. So anyway, I have came out of the meeting and joined once again. So what I was telling is that okay, just I was going through the subjects, different subjects which are being taught in this particular food science and food biochemistry subject as such. Lipids, we talk about oils and fats, modification, nitrogen substrate like casein, weight. I mean, these are all the ingredients which are taught not only for the purpose of course, but also for how they are how their properties can be utilized for product development. Cheese and I mean there's all things that I just rush through. Meat and meat products, muscle proteins. You know about that. Okay, how do you are going to process the meat and make different products? Myofibril protein, cured meat. These all it is given in a particular book. This eggs, okay, one of the another ingredient shell. Here we have a white and new egg products. From there you have the idea about the shell and egg, other proteins, different aspects or maybe its properties. Then you can just go for this new product development. Additives, they are added to food and food products. That is to gain a particular property. Let us see, you want to have a larger shelf life, you may have to add some what you call this shelf stabilizers. These are definitions and all. It is taught technological additives, flavor additives of nutritional value. Okay, like what you call it fortification. I will just give you some of the examples, not all, some of the examples, or that is what has been done in CFTRI. We have worked on the shelf-stable muffins and bread with natural preservative technology. It was commercialized for shelf-stable muffins, and for preservatives, gluten-free bread must be known that gluten, even if it is a major protein of the wheat and it contributes towards the product development, many of the individuals, they are having gluten-related disorders, in particular what is known as celiac diseases. So they can't take the general breads which are available. For that, we have also developed gluten-free bakery products like cookies, bread, muffins, and biscuits for celiac disease patients. Some of the examples what we have done in CFTRI, grain-based products. Now it is when we call it grain, it is something other than wheat and rice. The concept of certain grain products, for example, the sorghum, maize, and what you call this, millets, they are rich in high content of insoluble fibers. Ultimately, fibers you have to have so that first of all, they contribute what called the functional properties of the protein, these products, and also they contribute to very low calorific value. I'll not say zero, but it's low calorific value they contribute to. So, and that is the need of the time, especially once you are above 40, you have to be very careful about your diet. In that cases, the diet what you are taking, you should have the limited diets, and one of the approach where you can have what you call bulkiness. Okay, you will feel satiety. I mean, your satiety will be okay, but the thing is that you will not get that much calorie. These are all the products we are what we call a grain-based product. Beverages from green coffee extract. Okay, rich in bioactive molecules and are used for natural polyphenol-rich carbonated and non-carbonated beverages. It can be a refreshing drink for enhanced antioxidant properties. Hope you're all aware of antioxidants and all, because this was the field I was working for almost maybe 25 years. Polyphenol enriched cold coffee with pure lactobacillus culture. Now you see what you call this uh, probiotics. That also is, I mean, with cold coffee with probiotics. Okay, what you get in the market, let us see this curd, that curd, and many products are there. There's also the health solution. You can have coffee. Along with that, you can also have the lactobacillus, the beneficial bacteria present in lower of an individual. The spice nutraceutical germ bond, one molecule present in ginger. It has got antitumor, anti-inflammatory, antibiotic, and analgesic properties. Simple process. It is used for preparation of pure germ bond crystals. It was standardized in the institute. Gelatin and wafers, I was telling about the animal products. The gelatin from skin, bone, and skin of fish. Okay, not only for use of gelatin, but also used in food and pharmaceutical industries. But more important is that it is you add value to these products which are going to waste, and you also manage the waste also, so that pollution can be reduced. These are crispy wafers or crispy snack foods. They brought out a new taste over this tongue by introducing non-veg wafers like chicken, egg, these things, and which are ready to eat products that are available uh, with us. Egg delicacies. I was telling about egg. One of our colleagues, he was working because eggs, they are known as perfect foods and shelf stable egg delicacies, including egg paneer, deep fried cubes. Can you imagine that paneer not coming from milk but coming from egg? Deep fried cubes and dehydrated egg cubes. These cubes are ready to use in curry preparation, and these products can be stored for a period of 6 months at room temperature without having any chemical or synthetic preservatives, and no changes will occur in that. Some information I would like to share with you what we have done in our lab. I think when ma'am was introducing me, she told we are working on pomegranate paste. We call it mark. Industry, this is known as mark. Mark means anything other than edible portion. It's a byproduct obtained from pomegranate juice. It is about 78% meal and 22% seeds. And in this portion, we have 73% membranes, 2% seeds. This is all 25%. So this is all composition. Frankly speaking, I mean, let us not go with the figures. Work we have done on pomegranate waste. Yeah, if it is not utilized, let us see, we try to utilize that one, it is going to be the rate of this one. This, am I audible or again audio has gone? Am I audible, ma'am?
You're audible, sir.
Okay. So if peel and this waste is not utilized, this is an example that it can be fed as animal feed. It can make nutritious feed supplement because if you leave it for a long time, it is not utilized properly. BOD, biological oxygen demand of mark and peel is very high. It can cause economic concerns. Okay. This is all the composition I have told you. That waste is known as mark. I wrote a small article in one of the magazines, Deep 2047, Pomegranate Wonder Fruit. To be very frank, I talked about pomegranate, but I'm working on pomegranate based only. Peel. Literature shows that the edible portion, I mean, this peel is not less valuable than edible portion of the pomegranate. This is a source of tannins, flavonoids, and other phenolic compounds. It has received less attention as natural preservatives. It could be exploited by preservative in food applications and nutraceuticals. Peel. What we did is we have studied various solvents evaluated for their antioxidant activity, and the most effective extract was used for further studies. These two papers I was mentioning, I think I have mentioned in my CV this introduction also. It was introduced by the concerned participant or faculty, that these two papers they have given us laurels because these are considered to be very highly cited papers when as far as this our research work is concerned. We took a CCl4 model, carbon tetrafluoride model, and this is known as a known toxicant which is present in especially this paint and other industries. And these metabolites are involved in the pathogenesis of liver and kidney. This causes changes on liver central vein and leakage of marker enzymes like GOT and GPT, getting hidden. Sorry for that, GOT and GPT. Glutamate oxalate transaminase and glutamate pyruvate transaminase. These are enzymes, marker enzymes, which are leaked as when the liver undergoes any sort of damage through any industrial toxicant or any other reason for that matter. CCL4 treatment was given to the rats. Single dose was given for 2 grams. The decreased level of these enzymes. These are all the antioxidant defense enzymes. Their levels are decreased because of CCL4 treatment. Lipid oxidation value is increased almost 3 folds. You can see the rat. I mean, it's such a model only. So then what we did is we have given in a set we have given separately. In other set we have given the pre-treatment of the rats with extract of what we have found, which was very effective as far as this antioxidant potential was concerned. This can bring about a catalyst for oxidation dismutase to close to control values. Lipid processing was threefold increased when in a previous slide I have shown. It was brought by 84% as compared to control. Histopathological cases, when we have seen that also it supported that the liver architecture has been brought close to normal. One of my PhD students, she is almost about to finish this her work. These compounds and polyamine metabolism. Polyamines, they are polycationic molecules which are closely associated with DNA and RNA molecule, and they control their this mechanism. What you call this? Their up and down regulation. We have seen the potent polyphenols from pomegranate peel. They were screened against ornithine decarboxylase, spermine, spermidine, acetyl transferase enzyme. I mean, need not to bother, but I'm just trying to highlight what we have done on this aspect. We have studied condition for its extraction using a what you call this eco-friendly composition of solvent. Acrylamide was used as a cytotoxic agent. For this, I tell you, acrylamide as such, those who are having biochemistry or maybe other like biotechnology work, they must be acrylamide, and You have polyacrylamide gel, which is very often used for separation of proteins or other molecules. But acrylamide, it has also been found that it forms during the high temperature processing of any raw material as far as food is concerned, especially in bread, where you have the especially react to the amino group, the aldehyde group of reducing sugars, it reacts to the amino group and forms acrylamide, which is very cytotoxic in nature. The levels are quite high, especially in bread, and if it is not controlled, this frying and all it is there, especially what you call potato-based product, or finger chips and chips as such, they are present in quite high concentration. So we have also worked on whether the acrylamide can have any effect on polyamine metabolism, because polyamine ultimately they are the regulators of DNA function. So potential compounds are from polyamine pomegranate peel. We have evaluated against polyamine metabolizing enzymes against acrylamide induced cytotoxicity. I'm not going to read the details of this thing because this is the cell model, NIS 3 cell model we have used for that. And pinicalgin, it is one of the very important component of the pomegranate peel, which is very beneficial and has possesses antioxidant, strong antioxidant properties. Its metabolites, especially urolithin A and urolithin B, even they have been shown that they can reverse the incidence of cancer as well. I mean, there are some literature available in this. So finally, not going to anything, pomegranate peel extract and compounds could be explored to develop the natural chemopreventive agents against acrylamide-induced cytotoxicity by virtue of their role towards down-regulation of ODC and up-regulation of SSCT. These are the technical, I mean, what you call, little bit deeper research thing. I will not bore you with that, but this is the thing we have done in those. Okay, now we have not left seed because ultimately seed also goes waste only. We have written a paper in on health benefits of unique acid review. It is highly cited, again, very what you call high impact factor journal. Yeah, this is you can see that it is just giving the composition of pomegranate seed oil. Uh, Functional ingredient it can use in food formulations, major contribution towards valuation and waste management, because ultimately seeds are the part of pomegranate waste, so that also can be utilized. This is one of the major fatty acids present in this pomegranate seed oil. Is polyunsaturated fatty acid called the ticosanic acid. Don't worry about that. This is just consider that is major acid present in pomegranate seed oil. These are the composition. Don't worry about. 82% is present in seed oil. Its health benefits, it has here on highlighted here, pomegranate seed oil. It's not commercialized, but maybe in future, definitely somebody can carry forward this one, or even our group also, they can carry forward and we can have this thing. I'll show you another slide after this. These are the high antioxidant properties, anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, protection against all toxicity, and hypolipidic properties possessed by pomegranate seed oil as such by virtue of presence of high content of unique acid. These are all the enzymatic mechanism. Don't worry about that. It is not to bore you. Maybe one biopsy is there. Maybe sometimes it can be taken afterwards. This PSO, pomegranate seed oil. Seeds were powdered, sieved, extracted the solvent, and hexane was most effective solvent found in that. Don't worry about this. Is all particle size distribution. It was done for that part. These particles. Yeah, we have also seen it's scanning like a micrograph, and we found that as such they are small granular in nature. Their particles they are present, but once they are extracted, you can see that honeycomb-like structures are generated because from these micropores, the oil is extracted. So after extraction, this one this SEM was taken. You can see that these are the sort of honeycomb structure developed from this. Whereas you see this, I mean, if it is, for example, 10 minutes, you can see some particles. Whenever it is at 8 hours, a lot of honeycomb structures that there is flat particles not present. So flat are the native particles from where when extraction has been done, this gets converted like this. Production was found to be having high yield, oil yield, and mass transfer. All it is, don't worry about that. Some basic study also we did. we found that the pomegranate seed oil we fed to the rats, and when we saw the just I'll tell you about title that it promotes pomegranate seed oil promotes peak bone mass achievement in growing rats. To be very frank, I'll tell you in a nutshell that we found that the rats which were fed with pomegranate seed oil and which were fed on the regular oil, I think it was sunflower oil, we found that the length of bones of these pomegranate seed oil fed rats was significantly larger as compared to the control rats. Product formulation also we did in that. We have tried to prepare the bread incorporated with pomegranate seed powder, and the powder means we can really maintain the stability of the pomegranate seed oil. Otherwise, directly if you put oil may get destroyed by processing conditions. Pomegranate bar we have prepared, that is partial range. It has got pomegranate seed oil at certain level, because actually to verify with our research has infused us to go for this sort of products, where children if they take with their bone metabolism definitely it will be improved as compared to normal those who are not taking. We also tried to have some blending of the pomegranate seed oil with other oils. It is all at research level only. I can't make any claim out of that. But the thing is that these also we can attempt in future. These are some of the publications with my these students. Whatever we have done, but it's still long way to go, because we have to have the safety aspects, bioavailability, whether we once it is taken in vitro, fine, but in vivo, its bioavailability, bioquality has to be studied. Without that, ultimately, product is good, but ultimately it doesn't have any effect. There is no use of this sort of product. This is my team. This is Moti. He's one of the co-author in that paper what I am citing. Highlighting that highly cited paper. He was in Texas. Now he's in India, in Bangalore. This is my two research scholars, Rama and Aruna. This is my colleague Kunal. He was instrumental in doing this bone work. This is my late colleague Dr. G.K. Jayaprakash. Recently, just about a month back, he has expired. I am very sorry to share this news. He had actually this cerebral myeloma, and here I stand. I would like to acknowledge the Director CSR CFTRI for giving the opportunity to work on this, Professor Indu BK. Of course, I forgot, because I was actually in touch with Professor Indu only. She was corresponding from day one with me, and unfortunately, I missed you. But thank you, Principal Madam. I'm sorry that I should acknowledge you here in writing, but anyway, please just receive my acknowledgement. Then Authority of Publishing Institute of Management and Science, and of course my colleagues and students who have given at least something I can present in front of you. Thank you very much. Just a few more words, because previous speaker has told about the opportunities. As far as the opportunities are concerned in CFTRI, there are position of scientists, there are position of research scholars, there are positions of particular project students. Many of the colleges they offer, they have the courses where last semester they have to do a short-term project in a repeated organization. CFTRI, as being the head of Department of Human Resource Development, I can tell you, just because of this corona pandemic, there are activities a little bit down. Otherwise, in the whole year, we take about 200 plus students from all over the country from different colleges who can carry their project work in CFTRI by the payment of nominal 25,000 rupees. Other information is 25,000 rupees. Out of that, 10,000 rupees it is given, not given by the student, but it is utilized for the procurement of chemical research. Ultimately, you finance your own research program. Okay, and many of the research, those who have come for this project work, they have many of the research, because I'm telling about the 30 years my experience over here. Many of the students who came for project work, I could see them that they are doing their PhD, and afterwards they are placed here and they are in very good position, not only in academic institutions but also in industries, and also many of them are in abroad as well. So this thing I wanted to share. Anything other than that, you can visit our website cfta.res.in, or if you have any further queries, precise queries you don't want to visit, you can write back to me. I am available at rpsingh@cftri.res.in. I'll repeat once again, rpsingh@cftri.res.in. Please, you can post me any query and I'll reply that. At the end of the game, many students are attending this seminar, apart from the what you call this authorities and management, I would like to share one very good, I mean, my own this view that I always tell that students, because students, we have residential code, all they come from different places, we stand by the students. And I go with the motto, I am with the students. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And before I close, I would like to wish you everybody a very, very happy 2021. Let us hope that this year it goes, that it can enable us to forget and dump the what you call bad memories of 2020 because of this corona pandemic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. It was literally a wonderful presentation. You made us understand what is food science, food technology, and the role of food scientist, also the food technologist. Then the confluence of biochemistry and food. You gave the glimpses of work at CSIR, CFTRI, and you also told about the pomegranate processing and health benefits of its products. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Literally, very thankful to you. Any questions?
So kind of.
Any questions to sir? It is the time for the questions.
Uh, Netra, as the time is going ahead, you take only two questions and remaining things we can send it to sir and we can request him to answer. We can request
Yeah,
him
sorry
to
that there was a.
give his email.
I'm sorry.
Sure, ma'am. Akshay sir, mute. Apeksha, unmute.
Take only one or two questions.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. I had a small doubt regarding how can the students enhance their skill. I am from a biotechnology background and I'm doing my MSc in food and nutrition. So,
Okay.
how can I balance between this since I want to make my better career in food industry?
You are doing input science and nutrition, right?
Food and nutrition, yes.
Okay. Do you have any placement cell over there where they can come and they can hire you? Do you have, because we have a full-fledged what do you call this placement cell, which is organized by students only. So they come, they have these interviews and all those things. Whether you have anything like that, if it is not there, even then you can approach, like for example, industries. They have their openings. They have their openings. And with your experience, at least in your at graduation level, definitely right. And many of the industries now, they are, instead of taking directly, just now before this my presentation, Mr. Srinath was telling from Merck that they take for internship, and if you perform well in internship, definitely you can be a part of that industry.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we are running short of time, so maybe we can go to the next picture. I just unmute my mic.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
The next speaker for the day is the Professor Kshama Hiremat, co-founder and CEO, Trident Diagnostics and Healthcare Private Limited. She is the lab director, chief biochemist, presently owning Trident Diagnostics, a unit of Trident Diagnostics and Healthcare Private Limited at Nagadevannahalli, a NABL and NABH accredited center. She is master in medical biochemistry from KMC Manipal. She is the joint treasurer ACBM since 2019. She has 18 plus years of experience in teaching field for MBBS, MDS, BDS, BPT, BMLT and MMLT students. Guided dissertation and project under Rajiv Gandhi University and IGNOU. She has been instrumental in getting NABL accreditation for PDC Bangalore. Member of Board of Studies and expert for MWOC and BWOC courses under UGC scheme affiliated to prestigious Bangalore University. She is also the member of Board of Studies panel for School of Allied Healthcare and Science under Jain University. She is the academic counselor IGNO since 2018 for CFN, CNCC, DECE, and DNHE courses. She is a review expert for validation process for HSSC, International Lead Assessor AMLA at Nepal. She has underwent 4 days training program on laboratory quality management and internal audit as per ISO 15189 2012. She has also been awarded with Dynamic Women Entrepreneur of the Year 2017 and Entrepreneur of the Year 2019. She is the life member of Academy of Medical Laboratory Auditors in the year 2017. She is also the life member of CAHO CON 2019. She is the life member of Association of Clinical Biochemists and Microbiologists in the year 2017 and also the life member of Karnataka Hemophilia Society affiliated to Hemophilia Federation India in the year 2005. She is a life member of ACBI. It's our privilege to have you with us, ma'am. A warm welcome from Padma Shri Institute of Management and Sciences. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much once again for giving a vast introduction. First, I thank Padma Shri Institute of Management Studies for giving me an opportunity to talk on synergy of biochemistry in medical diagnostics. I thank Anuradha Madam, Dr. Anuradha Principal, for giving me an opportunity, and that was a little short notice for what when Dr. Indu told me that, ma'am, can you do this presentation? I was a little reluctant because it was a very short notice. Then I thought, okay, let me try once and just talk on this topic, because the next trend, as everybody knows, will be more into that is medical diagnostics, healthcare, and also food. So keeping this in mind, I thought I will just try my level best to give just brief glance on the whole subject as biochemistry in medical diagnostics. Before going to this topic, I just want to mention that, as Madam said, it is amalgam. You cannot just differentiate between subjects. When you know the subject, you have a very good hold on the subject. Just a minute. Just a minute. Sorry. Yeah, when you have a very good hold on the subject, things become much easier. And I think there was a question to Dr. Srinath regarding how to go about and at what you all have to be good at. That was the question, I think, for going for a subject or going for a job. What I feel is, academically you should be very strong. If you are strong, and technical skills automatically, it goes hand in hand. That becomes much easier for a person to go to the next level. So that is the reason academic, why the teacher pushes. There is a saying, teachers try to push the students to their best. That is because we can bring the horse up to water. If they don't drink, then it's of no use. So I appreciate the whole management here for doing such kind of a course wherein even students get an opportunity to know what will be their future and how they have to think of going for a subject. So with this, I would like to just give a little brief idea what is biochemistry. As you all know, it is biology and chemistry. So that is the science of living matter, and you see every day in everything you have biochemistry, and that is enhancing lives every day, everywhere. So that's came into picture was biochemistry. So now, what are the careers domains of for the biochemist? As I think Dr. Srinath already mentioned, there are various fields wherein you can go in. I, of course, have not dealt on IT here, but healthcare, as such as in medical diagnostics, research, yes, as he already mentioned, pharmaceuticals, as you know, you are all aware of the recent pandemic, what has happened, that is corona. See how fast everybody worked for it to bring the vaccine on the right time. That is, doing right things right time is very essential, and they have come out with the vaccine. So the pharmaceutical industry, biotechnology, you do remember during corona time the testing was an issue, and the help of biotechnologists and the research, they came out with the kits at a very fast pace. So hats off to them. Then cosmetic industry, as you all know, everybody would like to look young, nice, beautiful, energetic. So cosmetic industry also need a biochemist. Toxicology, which is in high demand. Food technology, as already sir has given enough inputs in that. Then forensics, because the crime at the rate at which is going, I think forensic has played a very important role. And 80 to 90% of biochemical reactions are taken care there, and it becomes easier for the forensic department to give a very good review, and thus helping the forensic, the whole team helping the our CID or the CBI team to come out with the conclusions. Then comes the academics, which is very, very important, because in academics now, I have heard people saying that I have not got anywhere, then I'll go to academics. No, I really don't know why they feel that, but academics is very important, and I always appreciate, because if there is a good teacher, if you yourself can understand the subject very well, your students are the better product for our country. So never neglect, all the subjects are equally good, but it is how you take. That's very, very, very important. How you cope up with the subject matters a lot than just saying that no, I didn't get anything, that's the reason I went for academics. It's not true. I don't think so. So next comes how the evolution of biochemistry happened. So this, as such, you all know it, in late 19th century, yeast fermentation of sugar was the first thing what we had taken care. Then came the Louis Pasteur, wherein he said only in the intact cells the fermentation can take place. Then Butcher brothers, they discovered that fermentation can occur in cell-free extracts. Then came various biochemical scope subjects that took place, and then came the the energy generation. This was a huge discovery, wherein the vital role of organic phosphate, ADP, ATP, I think you might have heard, NAD, NADPH, and then FAD all came into role. And then the best thing what they discovered was that vitamins are also cofactors or coenzymes in our metabolic cycle, whereas as you all are aware, metabolism, that is anabolism and catabolism. And thus came into picture was modern biochemistry, which is really going at a very, very, very fast pace. Next. Yeah. So now, what are the objectives of biochemistry? When I want to mention medical diagnostics, I should know how this biochemistry is helping into medical diagnosis. First and the foremost thing is the isolation and structural addition of all the biomolecules is required. You should have good awareness on that. Then identification of the disease mechanisms. Then study of, see here what happens, inborn errors, as you all know, of metabolism, like phenylketonuria. For those studies, we should know the metabolism into depth, so that you know what exactly the error, inborn error is. Then at the same time, the study of oncogenes, as you all know, the cancer, that is cancer related cells, to know what kind of a cancer, because here in case of biochemistry, you especially in the medical diagnosis, you are not going to look into the patient. You are just taking the sample and doing the processing. So it's more on the evidence, and depending on this, what kind of a tumor marker it is, that has been first level judged, what kind of a cancer it is. So to identify that, you should know all kind of oncogenes. Then the relationship between biochemistry, of course, you should have a knowledge on genetics, physiology, immunology, and pharmacology and toxicology. The study of chemical process, why I have put this slide, is to know any disease, you should know the metabolic process, and to know the metabolic process, you should know the biochemical reactions what are happening. That is the metabolism. If you understand this very well, because many times people say that, oh madam, it's metabolism, anabolism, should we study this, is it very important? but the base should be very strong. As Dr. Anuradha Madam said at the beginning, the basics should be very strong. If your basics are strong, then any advances, anything new in the technology wise or new upgradations happening in the market, it is easy for you to absorb it just because you know the in and out of the that particular disease or the process. So such kind of examples are diabetes. You all know diabetes, hypothyroid, hyperthyroid. These are the very common one, because at home one or the other person are suffering, because I don't mention it as a disease, it's a disorder. Jaundice, kidney dysfunctions, then as I said, the inborn errors like phenylketonuria. These are some of the examples. Hypercholesterolemia, then hypertriglyceridemia, then sickle cell anemias, because with higher technology in electrophoresis pattern, we can go into depth and find different kinds of thalassemias also. We can look into that. Then dental fluorosis, because anything high, anything low, they say deficiency or excess also can lead to various disorders. Rickets again, calcium, then acidosis, alkalosis, atherosclerosis. All this, if you want to know and want to give the reporting regarding this, we should know the mechanism behind it. What are the different contributions of biochemistry? I will not go into depth of it, because it's part of your academics also, like cell biology, physiology, immunology, because immunology best example is anti-TPO and all, microbiology, pharmacology, toxicology, fields of inflammations, forensics, cell injury, and cancer. The next slide which I'm going to deal is, this is very significant, because the biochemistry, when we say, you might have heard at home also, where parents say that I have to go for my sugar testing, I have to go for my lipid profile. What is this lipid profile? Lipid profile includes cholesterol, triglyceride, HDL, LDL. The ratio of HDL is to LDL. Then the ratio of cholesterol is to LDL, then VLDL. There are various tests which come under this. Just by investigation, we'll know whether the person has hypercholesterolemia, hypertriglyceridemia. When such things happen, or even HDL lower, HDL is a good cholesterol, which should be in a higher content. If it is low, then what happens is immediately the doctor suggests other lifestyle changes first and foremost. And if it is genetic reason for the elevations, then there is no other way, then they have to go for medications. So this, you see, the patients are just giving the sample, but whereas as a biochemist, you will be reporting for these reports. When you have a thorough knowledge, then it is easy for interpretation of the report. The same way, not only lipid profile, when you go to depth, if there is a cardiac, if there is a chest pain for the patient, then if the doctor writes for troponin, AST, ALD, then we can manipulate. If it is a negative report, then they needn't worry. If it's a positive, they go for ECG and the patient has to get admitted. How fast, how the technique has changed, and just with a blood sample, with urine and stool, or other body fluids, we can come with the conclusions. Similar to that is the tumor marker. Now, tumor markers, as you heard, you might have heard about PSA. This is very common in the families wherein you have elderly men whose PSA and free PSA is monitored. Prostate-specific antigen usually says whether there is a prostate benign or a tumor. So this conclusion will be seen only when we do the investigations. At the initial stage, they usually look into blood investigations and the scanning. Scanning also is an evidence-based medicine. And along with that, there is a ratio wherein PSA is to the free PSA, and the PSA ratio is taken into play, and we come to a conclusion with the percentage whether it's a benign or tumor before going in for the surgery. See, not only it is significance for diagnosis, please understand, even in prognosis in case of tumor markers, because post surgery, if the tumor has been removed, then immediately to know the prognosis, how the treatment has acted, again the tumor marker came into play, and the biochemist also comes into the play. I'm not going to deal here more on microbiology, pathology. I'm just going to talk only on biochemistry, because here I have to talk on biochemistry. But of course, all are interlinked subject. See, biochemistry, and sometimes we need help of the pathologist. A best example is when you're giving a report for iron profile. So iron levels, ferritin levels has to be monitored with a peripheral smear, wherein hemoglobin levels are low, and ferritin, how it acts, whether iron, it's because of iron deficiency, it's because of B12 deficiency, microcytic anemia, which is megaloblastic anemia, everything conclusions because of knowing B12 levels, folic acid, iron, ferritin, all we can come to a conclusion. Similar to that, there is a liver function test. Again, we come to conclusion whether the patient is suffering from jaundice, by knowing his bilirubin levels, his enzymes, AST, ALT, then there are albumin protein, because as you all are aware, albumin is secreted in the liver and excreted from the kidney. So once there is no production of albumin, that means the liver has been damaged. Of course, along with this, the scanning also plays a very important role. But with the investigations, we can identify whether he has cirrhosis, whether he's alcoholic, by knowing his GGT levels. So thus all the investigations plays important role. Same way kidney function also, renal and your urea and creatine levels plays important. Creatine is totally dependent for kidney function, whereas urea can be elevated during pre-renal, renal and post-renal causes. The same way electrolytes also play very important role. Why I'm going to go so depth? Because when you know the subject in and out, that's what I'm saying, academically then if there is an error, example in case of electrolytes, I just want to briefly explain why about theoretical knowledge, why is it important. See, when in electrolytes we see sodium, potassium, chloride. If the potassium levels are elevated, as a biochemist, before reporting, you have to look whether the sample is clear. In case if it's clear, potassium levels are in the RBCs, so it oozes out if the tourniquet is tied tightly, or if it is taken from the saline. There are various reasons for the elevation, that is called pre-analytical. But what happens when you report this, and when it goes to the doctor, they say it's a wrong report. So before giving the report itself, you have to analyze whether the potassium, whether the patient has a kidney dysfunction, what is wrong, or ask for a repeat sample. For this, you need your basic knowledge, your technical knowledge comes into play. Till now it was more of your theoretical knowledge. Now it's practical, whether how the things have happened. So you have to talk to the concerned laboratory person who has taken the sample. It can be a nurse, it can be a paramedical staff, like a technologist who has taken the sample. You have to talk to them and then release the report. See how important role is played by a biochemist. That's why I say a biochemist in a medical diagnostics, it has a challenge for each and every report. Not in case of where he's doing a research, he's doing on the same thing, but here every patient is different. So every report has to be monitored thoroughly before giving a report. So every day, every minute is challenging for a biochemist. So usually we say biochemist, microbiologist, or pathologist, or anyone who is giving the signatory as a report. It may be genetic expert. They have to look it into very thoroughly before releasing the report, look into it, interpretation, or ask for a sample just before, so that the reports what is being released goes rightly. So doing right things rightly at a right time also plays very important role as a biochemist at the medical diagnostic level. So the scope of biochemistry, I just don't want to go very depth in it, but just I will explain. There's descriptive biochemistry, dynamic biochemistry, and since it's the older aspect, now the recent trend is on enzymology, endocrinology, clinical biochemistry, and molecular biochemistry. See, enzymology, because you give different enzymes play into role, and how they play into role also plays important. Just I want to give brief on endocrinology, because as you know, things have changed a lot, and you have endocrinologists also playing an important role in the case of medicine. Why endocrinology? Because the study of hormones itself has become a separate topic and separate subject, whereas for biochemists you should know in and around of all the subjects. As hormones, you are aware that thyroid plays a very important role. Earlier it was only FT3, FT4, TSH, or T3, T4, TSH, but now you can go into much deeper subjects like anti-TPO levels, anti-TG levels. Then you have, sometimes you have the FNSA samples have been taken for this to conclude what kind of disorder they have or a disease they have. Usually not a disease, it's a disorder. And in growth hormones, so everything comes into the picture is by studying the hormones, that is endocrinology. Clinical biochemistry as general, you as I mentioned, lipid profile, liver functions, everything come under that roof. Molecular biology, why everywhere I'm showing microscope becomes a question to the students who are having awareness of biochemistry. But I mean, you go very depth, now it's become nanotechnology, as everybody knows. Molecular biology is playing very important role. It's not that only biochemist, it's biotechnology, it is microbiology, it is genomics people, everything comes into the same platform, wherein they go into the deeper aspects and the genetic level, what exactly has happened. I think you might have heard about karyotyping, and there are various other investigations where we go into depth of it. What is the role of biochemist? As I already explained to you in my previous slides, it's just not only to carry out research projects, because research projects is like, what already explained by Dr. Srinath, that the activity will be given on particular drug, so that they have to look into, monitor that and go into depth of it. Whereas managing laboratories and preparing technical reports, there is a huge, challenge, because it plays a very vital role. You are now, as all are aware, accreditation has played a very important role. So becoming a quality manager, looking into the documentations, giving a technical report, because you can just simply cannot give a report, as I already mentioned, if you have thorough about it, if you really know about it. And there is nothing wrong that you can work in an organization as a technologist. Being a technologist, you'll be learning technically how to do things, then you'll be much aware when you add up your academic in it, and slowly getting revealed into a biochemist, which helps you to be better. It's not like day one you come and sign the reports. No, it cannot happen overnight. It needs a thorough knowledge, and it comes by practice. So that, and if you are under trained biochemist and authorized signatory or a technical managers, you will be having a very good exposure initially, so that you can in further become a very good biochemist. Then there is a immense role in the case of research, wherein you will be giving, as a scientist, you will be giving the reportings and giving reports to key stakeholders. As I already mentioned, being a biochemist, you will have to contribute towards the early diagnosis. I already explained to you what are the early diagnosis. It can be diabetes. In case of diabetes, fasting PP. It's not only fasting PP, it may be HbA1c with the 3-month sugar monitoring. Then you have lipid profile. Then you have, kidney functions. Then you have hormones. You have tumor markers. So all this comes under the early diagnosis, whereas prognosis, I gave a best example for you, was a tumor marker. Evidence-based medicine has totally changed the dynamics of the healthcare. As we have seen now, 80 to 90% of the blood investigations the reports are given by the biochemist, wherein just because of the evidence, whatever report you have given, on that basis, the treatment of the patients takes place. So imagine how much knowledge should you have to give such kind of a report. So your knowledge, your technical skills plays very, very, very important role. The opportunities, as I think Dr. already Srinath sir and Singh sir mentioned, there are huge opportunities. But in case, because why is the opportunities there? Please understand, because there is a huge demand, and there is a huge supply gap. There are very few biochemists, and the requirement is high. The laboratories are coming up, healthcare setups are coming up, a lot of research is happening. You are new and multinational hospitals are coming up, super specialty hospitals are coming up. So with that, there is a huge supply gap. So there is a huge demand now for biochemists, and especially on dependency on evidence based has increased, because anything you go to a doctor, I think even you all are aware, once you go to the doctor, first thing he writes the tests. It may be laboratory, it may be radiology, it can be your endoscopy, colonoscopy. See, these are all evidence based. Once the evidence are very clear that he may be suffering from so and so, it becomes easier for the doctors to treat. So this evidence based has taken such a priority role. This industry is growing at a faster rate. There is a huge requirement of biochemistry. There is a generation of demand with the intervention of latest technology. See, even if there is a latest technologies coming up, and since the newer generations are aware about it, learning new technology techniques will not be that difficult, but being a better biochemist and coming out will have good challenges, and that is the reason there is a huge demand for biochemists presently. The more labs are coming up for NABL, NABH certificate. There's ISO 15189 2012 presently, and there are a lot of certificates program also for which they need a trained biochemist as well as a holiday manager, which depending, see, again it becomes your skills. If you are very good in the documentations, you can be a in documentation, as already I think Srinath sir was mentioning about IT, wherein the biochemists play important. Same way in case of enable image, it's more of documentations. If you're very good at it, then you can be a very good quality manager, and basically a quality manager and also technical manager if you are very much interested being a biochemist and working there. Though because of the rising funds and agencies are having a lot of research work, again there is a huge demand for biochemists. Then because of the lucrative career in this and highly paid packages given, again there is a demand for biochemists, and this is going to reach peak level shortly. The future of biochemist, again, as I mentioned, I don't want to go again into depth of it. It is for genomics. Then since artificial intelligence, see, though there is artificial intelligence, there are equipments, but ultimately it is the knowledge of the biochemist which plays a very important role. Then in gene sequencing and sustainability. I thank the whole management to give me time, and I tried my level best to put the presentation within the given slot of time. I want to just present one video for all of you, just to thank the heroes, that is the warriors during COVID. And 90%, as you all know, where the healthcare workers came into role for this. I would like to share that.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you. And once again, I would like to mention one thing. Being in medical diagnostics, it's a challenge every day, and we have to be very committed. If you come to this field, your dedication is very, very important because during whole pandemic, none of us took a single day leave. We all were working. So I request those who are really dedicated and want to service the society can come surely into this field because it will add value to them, and also they will be serving to the society, which is equivalently like serving to God. With this, just want to thank once again Padma Shri Institute of MLT, Padma Shri group of institutions, especially Padma PIMS, Dr. Anuradha, and then Indumati, Dr. Indu, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It was literally a wonderful presentation, and also you gave highlights about the careers domain for a biochemist, and also you told about what skills to be need to be acquired by modern biochemist, and you also mentioned about the biochemistry significance in medical diagnostics and opportunities for the biochemist in the particular field. Thank you very much, ma'am. It was an enlightening session.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Netra. If any questions are there, they can just let me know.
Thank you, Kshama.
Yeah, thank you.
It was really a great thing that you could able to make your time. I know that in this COVID time, how busy you will be in your field, because you are the front runners who is really doing a great service to the nation, at the same time to the society. I really appreciate your efforts. I know you personally from so many years. I know that how much you are focused and career oriented, and at the same time how much you love your subject. In this scenario, I would like to tell to the students that one of our student is working with Dr. Kshama. Even one of our student is working with Dr. Srinath at Merck. See, students are having placement opportunities. Please don't ask us and come, will you show me a job? Why anybody should show you a job? If you are skillful, people will come to you. They will come to you and they'll pick you up. And I hope, Mrs. Kshama, definitely we will try to improve our skills. More than skills, I feel aptitude and attitude of the student need to be really groomed. That will be done by us, and we will definitely send a good lot of students for your industry, either in general to the diagnostic segment, and in particular to Trident. Thank you for your cooperation
Yeah,
and for
thank you
your
so much, madam,
support.
once again. And I can understand how the students' mentality is, but I really, appreciate that you all have taken so much of efforts to do this. I once again request all the students to use this as an opportunity. This is the right time wherein you can work, learn things, because this is your wherein you can make your basics strong. Jumping, as Dr. Srinath also said, jumping from one place to another place will not work. Instead, if you are very good at one subject, try to do well in it. That's what I mentioned again. If you're very good in your biochemistry skills, be biochemist. If you're very good in documentation, do documentation. There's nothing wrong, but try to identify your skills. Try to understand your inner conscious, what you are good at, and try to be that. So then only you'll be successful. It's not because somebody pushes you to do that, but you just think what you can do. I feel that is very, very essential. Thanks, madam.
Ma'am, there is one question. Shall we ask,
Yes,
or
yes.
we'll move?
Anything is fine. If you have time.
Okay, ma'am. Just one question
Yeah,
from the
you can ask
participant.
that question, but
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
What is the role of dynamic biochemistry in industries? Question by Tanisha Chakraborty.
Industry, in which industry? As in the medical diagnostics? I have explained everything. See, the reporting plays a very important role. And first and foremost thing I want to mention is it's not just by doing a degree they'll be able to do this. They have to do their masters or PhD. And when they're thorough at it, then they will be signatory. As you know, what is signatory is a biochemist who's giving a report. Okay, seeing the the values, he'll be judging what kind of the patient, whether he's suffering from diabetes, whether he is having his improper lipid profile. So for that, he should be thorough in his subject. He can be a biochemist, See, and if you go to molecular level, then he can go into genomics, or he can go into biotechnology also. There's nothing as a demarcation. Okay, because many of my friends are into genetics, some of them are into biochemistry as a biochemist, some have shifted to microbiology. Frankly to say, I'm a microbiologist. I have done basically my BSc in microbiology, then shifted to biochemistry. There's no demarcation, as Madam Anuradha Madam said, there's no demarcation. It is all amalgam of the subject. But when you come out as a one degree holder, because in India it matters a lot, if you have a master's in a biochemistry and a PhD in that, then you'll be eligible to become a biochemistry in that particular industry, if I have understood the question right, because they have just made it as industry, because it's not only our
It is in medical diagnostics.
medical, yeah, of course they can become a biochemist.
Yes.
For reporting, and also a quality manager, a technical manager.
Now, at this juncture, I want to add one more point to the students, because my thing is there as a concluding remarks, but I don't think I need to do any concluding remarks, because after every talk I am giving my inputs. Here, please try to understand, when Life Science Sector Skill Development Council is doing a great job in this. They are connecting the dots. If you want to become a clinical biochemist, you can definitely do one short-term course where entire thing is being focused towards that, and we will train you, and industry will train you, and you can get, industry doesn't bother what degree you get, only academics bother. If you want to become a scientist in biochemical field, I know that people, I have shown you an example. Mr. Srinath is the best example. He's a mechanical engineer, and he is having MBA degree, and he is talking more life science than any one of us. That indicates that it is your flair and passion will make you to get into this. For getting into this, if you are having a good knowledge and connecting the dots, linking is very, very important. Whenever I talk to the students, you will be taught ABCD in your childhood. Why? Because you need to construct, you need to write the words. That is why ABCD is being taught in your childhood. And we don't ever connect that. And when we are asked you to do protein analysis, or we ask you to do reducing sugars in your laboratory, you don't even connect. Why you want to learn the technology? Why do you want to know how reducing sugars are estimated? You have tremendous scope. You can come out with a simpler methodology where you can get into diagnostic kit manufacturer, or you can identify a cheaper and simpler methodology for that. Or you should first know that where this technique is used in diagnostics, where this technique is used in food industry, where this technique is used in pharma segment. Many of you just learn. I don't say that all of you, but try to cultivate that knowledge, cultivate that curiosity. Science is curiosity. Whether it is biochemistry, microbiology, or anything, you need to have that curiosity. Why you are doing this? Why you are attending to this seminar? Why we have to listen to Mrs. Kshama and Dr. Srinath, Dr. Manoj, Dr. R.P. Singh? Why should we listen to him? Listen to them. With their experiences, the challenges in this field, try to shape up your career if you want to become a biochemist in diagnostics, if you want to become a biochemist in food industry, or if you want to become a biochemist in pharma, or you want to become a biochemist in nutraceuticals. With great thought, we have formulated this particular conference where the 4 front runners of this industry will come and tell you what exactly you need to do to choose your career in biochemistry. Okay, thank you, Shama, once again. As we are running out of time, we will move on to the next.
Madam, 1 second. Madam, I just want to add one thing.
Yeah, please.
Madam, actually, what you said was right. Actually, for all other industries, they can be trained for it. But in case of medical diagnosis, we have a guidelines of CEA, Clinical Establishment Act, or the local guidelines, which says, because since she asked this question, either the master degree or the PhD in that particular field is required, madam. But whereas in case of other industries, they can be tuned up for that.
Okay.
But basically, this degree has to be there. So that is what they look into if they see the regulatory, there's one requirement. But other industry, yes, it's open. That's why I said in India, it's a little different scenario. So they look into all this, but whereas if you go to other countries and everything, there it is not so, because that's what I said. My friends are totally working in a different department like anatomy and pharmacology. But here it is mandatory. They have to do their master's or PhD program in biochemistry to be a signatory of biochemist. That is a requirement. Sorry to intervene in between.
Yeah. So it is very clear that if you want to be in medical laboratory diagnostics, I'm talking about manufacturing part of it.
Yes, madam.
In manufacturing part, they really don't bother.
They don't bother. Yes, true.
Yeah, they don't bother. In diagnostic laboratory, if you want to work, definitely you have to become a biochemist if you want to work in biochemistry department. Or if you are a microbiologist, you have definitely placed in microbiology department.
Yes.
If you are a biotechnologist, you can definitely work in COVID-19 testing center. Now entire thing is molecular biology.
We have taken 2-3 biotechnologists for doing that, madam. We can take. The subject is vast. They are all
subject is vast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you once again, madam.
Okay. Yes. Let us move on, Netra.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mrs. Shama. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, ma'am.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now it's the time to move on to our next speaker for the day, Dr. C.N. Manoj, CEO, Pelican Biotech and Chemical Labs, Kerala. He holds a PhD in Natural Products Chemistry from Gandhigram Rural University, Tamil Nadu, India. After 3 years as research scientist and technical director in couple of phytopharma industries, founded the PBCL as a sustainable and socially responsible enterprise with intent to protect the environment. He is an innovator with Gandhian thoughts and business development capabilities, sustainable business model on socio-commercial theme of creating wealth from waste is the primary focus. Projects that create value-added products from waste. Extension by creating awareness among the younger generation towards urban waste management protocols are the major thrust areas. Ongoing research projects with the various government of India organizations like DBT, GST, DRDO, and a few other projects are in pipeline with the government and private research organizations. He is the co-author of 10 international papers, recipient of the Best Entrepreneur Award from the Ministry of Industries, Government of Kerala, awarded in March 2010. He is the awardee of the National Level DBT by RAC Innovation Award for 2012 towards innovative products such as the organic composting agent for solid waste management. He is the joint executive coordinator in National Games 2015 to execute Green Protocol. He's the state resource person, Suchitwa Mission. He's also the convener, My Clean Malleshwaram, Bangalore, to implement waste management protocols. He is the founder of Entabumi Lifestyle Store. He's also the trustee Pelican Foundation. He's the managing director for the Pelican Biotech and Chemical Labs Private Limited, director Pelican Thermogenics, and also the director Pelican Zcam Private Limited. He is the member of governing body National Coir Research and Management Institute, Government of Kerala. He is the member state level committee for plastic waste management. On behalf of Padma Shri Institute of Management and Sciences, a hearty welcome to you, sir. Over to you now.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you, Anu. Thank you, Induji. Thank you, others in PIMS, all the participants, other co-speakers for this opportunity. I'm actually traveling, and I just stopped somewhere to talk to you all. And I think I'm not sure about my data bandwidth. You are able to see me?
Yes,
also?
sir.
So is it required? Probably. I'm not sure. So if video is not required, probably I can go without video ahead, if you don't mind.
Yes, Manoj.
Thanks. Bye. Okay, so thank you so much, all of you. I've been listening to the earlier speakers while I was driving. It was a great talk. I'm sure all the participants would have got much benefited by this. But so, in fact, I was completely humbled by the amount of the knowledge and the capabilities the earlier speakers have. So I thought my talk should address those with lesser capabilities. Uh, See, any area, any segment of world life has very smart people and people, very ordinary people. I'm an ordinary person. I haven't I couldn't memorize anything throughout my career. In fact, I have never even tried to learn periodic table. I cannot remember any atomic numbers and atomic masses, etc. Most of the chemical reactions I will forget. So this is for those who are having. I'm having severe dyslexia. I cannot. I cannot type without Microsoft spell check. So these are for those who are suffering through these things. The fourth idiot. Okay, the three idiots are in the movie. The fourth one. I am the fourth one. If anybody else is there out there, this is for you. So what I'm trying to say is, with all this, what do you call, impediments, still we can do something in industry. That is the advantage of industry. If I was in academics, I would have got thrown out much earlier because I cannot take a proper class. So what is the advantage of industry is industry looks into deliverable. Actually, if somebody, there was an incident in my earlier company when an external consultant from an academic institution, he came and asked me to write the structure of a compound which I was working. I didn't know. I told I don't know. So he blasted me there. What type of research you're doing in the industry without even knowing the structure? But thankfully, the CEO of the company was equally bad. So he came and told Manoj, as long as you're giving the product out, it is fine. So I always work with common sense and instincts. So for this common sense, we need to really trust on our available capabilities. So it's like for those who like cricket, it's like Cheteshwar Pujara batting and then either Pandya or MS Dhoni batting. Okay, Cheteshwar Pujara bats from the books, very elaborate preparations. Okay, and that needs plenty of skill set, plenty of capabilities, plenty of talent. And the other one works with instincts and street smartedness, maybe to a certain extent. And purely, it's like the desire to succeed or to just simply to hang on. So if you don't have a skill set, you cannot just drop dead. You have to hang on. So for those who are actually of those brackets, this talk is for them. And this is what I want to tell you on nutraceuticals and biochemistry. Because for those, there is nothing much better than a nutraceutical industry, because nutraceutical industry is a purely adaptability. It's thriving. It lives on adaptability, common sense, instincts, gut feeling, etc. Once in a while, I'm going to ask you whether I'm audible. Sorry, because I'm in the road. Hello?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah. So for those working on nutraceuticals and biochemistry, so biochemistry, as for me, the biochemistry or chemistry for that matter, the learning of chemistry mostly it stopped with +2. After that, it was purely for exams. So my chemistry is, that's why actually there's so much of hope for all of you who are actually hating chemistry, because with your +2 chemistry, you can do most of the things in chemistry, almost 80%. And for those who just want to grow a little bit more, the BSc chemistry level is, the graduate chemistry level is more than sufficient. Anything beyond this is available in Google. Okay, so I don't want anybody to memorize. I don't memorize anything. So for me, the basic science stops with graduation, +2 and graduation. So based on this, a few things which probably for nutraceutical industry, for those who would like to pursue a career in that. One, the nutraceutical industry is not a planned event. It is an accident. For example, nobody planned for isolating curcumins from curcuma. It just came out. So I haven't isolated a single compound from any plants which probably I targeted. I haven't. I would like to, but I haven't. So what happens in biochemistry is purely uh, an accident. You choose a animal or plant body, and then you start working on that, and you chance upon this compound which has some nutraceutical or pharmaceutical benefits. Why I'm telling this? Because as days progress, as years progress, this is going to be more and more difficult because easier compounds are already identified. So imagine the joy of a guy who actually isolated sugar, the most prominent compound, maybe in a living tissue. So that was a big scene. Now millions and billions of compounds have been identified, and progressively we find it more and more difficult. So this is where probably a little bit of skill set on on no what actually this understanding what actually you're going to this in terms of research for people who are going to do isolate new compounds in nutraceutical company. For them, my advice is keep this in mind that you generally don't target a compound, you're going to get a compound. And so here you have to have some basic biochemical knowledge, like what are the different types of compounds, biochemicals. So you would have maybe a few things which probably you can remember by keeping on listening to is like, we have this carbohydrates, fats, proteins as primary metabolites, and then you have other things as secondary metabolites. So the primary metabolites form the major composition of the body, and the secondary metabolites are in very, very less amount. Most of the primary metabolites has been already found out. So that means you are left only with secondary metabolites, and you have to remember the class of compounds, like what is a terpene, what is a sterol. There are thousands of terpenoids, thousands of sterols. You cannot remember the structure of even 10 of them. It's very complicated. But just to have a basic, it's like how to make a defensive play, how to hit a 6 or a 4. That sometimes it goes, sometimes it doesn't go. Just a basic idea about what are the different classes of compounds and what are the functional groups. And this is purely on a nutraceutical industry background. I'm not talking for academic. Sorry, I'm not talking for any academic test papers. I'm purely talking about a nutraceutical industry. And this is all you have to. This is all you have to know to start with. This is all how we started. We all started looking into what are the different types of compounds and what are the general chemical natures. What is a terpene? What is a sterol? What is a steroid? What is a flavonoid? What is an alkaloid? So 6, 7 class of compounds. That's all. This is what the whole nutraceutical industry is talking about. Second are which are the typical functional groups available with these biochemicals? A carboxylic acid group, an aldehyde group, which can be used for isolating a functional group. And for example, a neutral compound is very difficult to isolate because it will not react with anything. So which are the typical functional group? Again, maximum 6 to 7 functional groups, an acid, an amine group, or a little bit of phenolic group. These are things which will react with some compounds, and it's very easy to isolate. This is something which you should keep in mind when you get approaching nutraceutical industry. Why I'm telling this? Because as a postgraduate, you may seldom get a chance to get exposed to this. So when you try to learn the structure of all the 4 curcuminoids, or maybe of boswellic acid or figulcerones, I don't think you'll end up anywhere. It's going to be very difficult. It's a huge, like you have to keep learning so many things. However, if you can focus while you're doing your project, MSc project, if you're interested in nutraceuticals, if you're doing PhD, if you're doing work on a few compounds, I will rather suggest you go through this basic, I will call this actually warm up of an exercise, and then equip yourself with a few class of compounds which will help you in the nutraceutical industry. The second thing, basically, a nutraceutical chemist should think about is the whole nutraceutical industry, especially biochemistry, it depends on extraction and isolation. Am I audible? I think so. Little traffic is there. Sorry.
You are audible, sir.
Yeah. So the second level of understanding or awareness should be that The whole nutraceutical industry is depending on solubility of compounds. That's all. So we are having around 5 to 6 solvents. Like, again, it's a polarity, a little bit polarity difference. What is the polarity of a solvent? We have around 6 to 7 solvents, starting from petroleum, either NX, which is having the same polarity. Then we have this benzene is not used, the toluene, generally aromatic hydrocarbons. Then you have the chlorinated solvents. Again, it is restricted, like chloroform, etc. Then you have ethyl acetate, etc., which is having a little more higher polar, acetone, alcohol, water. So these are the 6 to 7 solvents which you use in nutraceutical industry. That's all, nothing beyond this. It's like simple, stupid. These are the 6, 7 solvents we use in nutraceutical industry for extracting, especially herbal extracts, even for animal extraction also. So I'm talking about the secondary metabolites, okay, not for the primary carbohydrates or proteins, different. And that is more easy actually, according to me, because that is in bulk, and maybe isolating a very rare protein is going to be difficult. That is going to be the later part of your career, but at least to start with, these are things which probably you have to closely watch on. So solubility, the same solubility is applicable for solvent as well as the compound which you are planning to isolate. So all these terpenoids and steroids which are having a higher hydrocarbon structure, they are less polar, whereas flavonoids, etc. So again, a small common sense that phenol is going to be a little more polar than alcohol. That's all. That's all biochemistry for nutraceuticals, according to me. I'm trying to make it very simple. Anything beyond this, you're going to complicate your life. And I actually, for people, those who cannot remember things. So you make it, find out the polarity of these compounds, what is your target, approximate target molecule. It's a terpenoid or a steroid, or it is going to be a flavonoid, or it's going to be alkaloid. So again, the polarity along with the nature of the compound, whether it is acidic or alkaline. Very simple chemistry which you learn in +2 or in the graduation. This is how you are going to extract it, and then based on its solubility or its acidity, or for example, if it is an acidic compound, you are going to use a sodium carbonate or sodium hydroxide extraction, like acids. You are going to take it out. If you are having an alkaline compound, you are going to use an acid like an alkaloid for taking it out. Very simple. So once you're taking it out, you're talking about purification, again solubility. So solubility is a very huge part in nutraceutical industry. So solutions and solubility, I have seen that most people in nutraceutical industry, many of my colleagues used to struggle with very high-tech nutraceutical science, but then they don't have the skill set for primary isolations. So they used to struggle to start with, and slowly they will pick it up. So I would like you to focus on these small things, and how do you extract, what are the solvents used in extraction, etc. Then you go for, once you start your purification, like simple techniques like chromatography and what do you call, crystallization. Again, solubility. So chromatography and all, you don't have to look into the what is the phase change. All these things, you don't have to learn the phase equations and all. What is a normal phase chromatography? What is an inverse phase chromatography? When are you use normal phase chromatography? Normal phase chromatography used when the compound is more polar. You know what? You should know why. So this type of basic isolation process, which you have to have an awareness of. So, and next is probably when you go to analysis, again solubility. So the whole nutraceutical industry is based on solubility of the compound. How do you separately dissolve the compound so that you can isolate? So the whole HPLC is based on solubility of a compound on various solvents. So you'll be able to know. So there is something like you are having a filter, and there you are having multiple compounds, and you are having different solvents. So based on the solubility, the compounds will pass through the filter. The filter is the chromatographic column, and the solvent is your carrier, and your compound is your solute. Same thing happens in a chromatography. Again, solubility, and how does it work? So chromatography can be a instrument like HPLC or MPLC or a simple column chromatography. There also the solubility functions. So if you look into the nutraceutical industry, so again, one more, the next step is basically how do you, finish your compound? How do you standardize, like with respect to a finished product? So this is where probably you also have to be as Anu was mentioning to start with, the interdisciplinary now extends to sales and marketing. What actually a client wants, whether he would like to have a 5% product or 10% product, he would like to have granules, whether you would like to have a tableting, ready to direct capsule or direct tableting granules, or you would this type of. So these things probably you will learn in this next phase of your career. But what I'm trying to communicate is nutraceutical and the biochemistry nutraceutical is much simpler when comparing to the synthetic counterpart of a pharmaceutical industry, because the requirements of, for example, in a synthetic chemistry, you have to remember many of the chemical reactions, because you should pick from your own intelligence a possible chemical reactions and this byproduct forward. But in nutraceutical, it's much simpler, because we are not expecting a very highly purified compound in a herbal extract. You're looking only into percentage. Only in a phytofine chemical, probably you're expecting a very high quality of purity. So, can you hear me once again? Sorry.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah. So I'm supposed to stop in another 4 minutes, right? 12:30.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this for biochemistry in nutraceutical, what I would like you, while you're pursuing your MSc, of course, graduation may not be compatible with an industry at this level, I guess. Otherwise, you are extraordinary, like Sachin Tendulkar. I'm sorry, I'm a big fan of cricket. So unless you are extraordinary, it will be very difficult to be compatible with any ceutical industry, for that matter, pharmaceutical or nutraceutical, because there is a level of little bit higher level of information required. At least you should know where to look. That was the next point which I was trying to say. So generally, I don't remember anything. So my biggest savior is Google. Almost everything is available in the Google, but you should know where to look. That is again coming by practice. How do you search the right information from the Google, and then possibly store it and catalog it and store it in one of your hard disks so that you can retrieve it. This is something which you can practice right from MSc, and this is where the project is very important. I had an earlier look into my MSc, into the industry, because I did projects in all vacations. All my breaks in the MSc post graduation, we had 4 breaks, half yearly and in the end of the year. I used to do projects in an industry or in a research lab with some deliverable, so that there is something to deliver. So according to me, that actually has helped me, because I realized that despite not having a good academic background, still I can survive in the industry with purely common sense and instincts, and getting having some hands-on experience in a few things. So with which I would like to conclude, because I think we have got delayed, and I would like to take some questions. Thank you all once again. Best wishes.
Thank you very much, sir, for your presentation. You mentioned about the scope of nutraceutical industries, and also you highlighted about the deliverables importance, and also you motivated us that the field is open to all the people, even with the impediments. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any
Dr.
questions?
I just
Yes.
want to like to yeah. Before we go to questions, I just want to 2-3 sentences I want to add to this.
Yes, ma'am.
As Manoj said, he is a very good friend of mine, and we were together working at Sami Labs, a nutraceutical industry, and later he really surviving the odds in the industry, and he could able to make many things. He is being a biochemist or a natural product chemist, still he is fascinated about the basics of life sciences. Whatever we are having, it is all finding the challenges in the society and trying to find solutions for that. He was mentioning that you don't need to know many things. That is true, but you should know how to connect the dots, which Manoj has got that capability, and it is like identifying a challenge and doing something towards the challenge is a real common sense is required. Common sense is a great thing. Once you have the common sense, and everything is available in Google. At the end, he mentioned, I thought he may not mention that I wanted to add about it. Yes, everything is available in Google, but what to see in the Google, that is a common sense, which most of us lack. You really need to know about it. Otherwise, the information it gives, if you just type a keyword like mm, yeah, Mano's favorite subject like waste from wealth, and if you type a keyword like chitin, you get lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of papers. How do you connect it to you? How do you really make it possible? And think up with common sense. I generally I'm very poor in my subject, as Manoj said. I don't have fundamental knowledge, but have plenty of common sense. Where we could able to really, he could able to do patenting in life science. I could able to do patenting in chemical part of it. See, we are not. I'm not a chemist. He is not a life scientist, but common sense matters. You should able to connect the dots. Then no one need to tell that this is the career you chose it. You listen to your mind, your logical sense, and try to connect the dots. If I ask you to connect biotechnology and Mars, you could able to do it. I'm sure Manoj will do it. If I ask you to connect food and defense, you should be able to connect it. Why should I join as a food scientist into defense? I'm a food scientist. I'm not a scientist who knows how to build rockets or how to do anything. But is there a position for me as a food scientist to be in research? Yes, there is a position. If you are a microbiologist, there is a position. If you are a biotechnologist, there is a position. Only thing what you need to is how you have to connect, and the opportunities will never come to you. You have to go to opportunities, and you should keep open. Please have an open mindedness. Many of the students call me and ask me that which is a good subject to take, which subject will fetch me a best job. Do you know that me and Manoj and many of us really quitted the best jobs and the best careers and started on our own? Why did we do that? When I'm in Reddy's, always, even at Sami, Dr. Bami used to tell me, we don't want you to think. You just work for our products, for our ideas. Whatever we want, you try to do it. Try to find a solution for it. We are people who love freedom. We want to work on our own products. We want to love to think in our own way. Our logical sense, though, found a solution for what they wanted, but we were not happy at that time. So we started on our own. You should be able to really try to find what exactly is needed. And I think Manoj has to move on. We will take some questions and then we will come back. I will not be talking whatever I want to present. I already presented it. Manoj, we will take some questions if there are any questions. Netra, any questions?
No, ma'am. Right now, no questions.
Okay.
Okay, Anu, I think in that
There,
case, sorry.
yeah, Manoj, go ahead.
Yeah, if there are no questions, I would like to conclude by telling that I would have missed one point. One is like, whatever impediment and incapability we need to, compensate with plenty of hard work. And I think that is an attitude which probably people like me get genetic body mutations somewhere. Actually, it got compensated, I think, like me and you. I would like to call
Yeah.
upon the participants, if you are not able to cope up with the complications of academics, simply work hard. It's very simple. It's very easy to work hard and spend more time with your stuff. More time. Hard working is nothing but simply spending more time with it, spending more and more hours with whatever you want to do. So you will simply get a skill set on that.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
There is one question from Shalini Goswami. How can we proceed with data analytics being in nutrition and dietetics course?
Oh, great. So I am so glad that question has been made here. See, let me put up the other version of data analytics, or maybe the umbrella of data analytics is basically sales and marketing. Why you want to have data analysis? So one type of data analysis, basically the the technical data, which probably you use for the genomics and proteomics, etc., which is very, very tough to compete with because it is going to be completely taken away by the AI, artificial intelligence. So another segment which probably still will require human intervention for a long time will be sales and marketing data analysis, because that needs a little bit more capability. So what you start with is start working on data. So how do you start working on data? Go to a company, tell that I can analyze your data free of cost. Let me know. Provide some skill set. Learn from Google. There are plenty of data analytics tools available in Google. It will just take 24 hours for a biochemist. That's the advantage of a chemist. You can a science person can link up with anything very fast. You can link up. You can study this. I learned accounts in 24 hours. I learned tally, not because accounts is simple, but as a science person we have this common sense approach. So you can learn every interdisciplinary subject and everything is available online. Use those things, and then here you go. Plenty of opportunity for data analysis in not only in biotechnology or biochemistry, but for every segment in life. The data is going to be very important.
Thank you, sir.
Manoj, here,
Yeah.
here I want to just mention one more point. You said you
Yeah.
learned accounts within 24 hours. Necessity
Yeah.
made you to learn that. Another thing
Absolutely.
is, another thing is, uh, chemistry is mother of all the subjects, Manoj.
Absolutely.
A person who is good at chemistry, who is good at mathematics, he will have a lot of logical sense. Who is
Yeah.
good at life sciences, he will have a lot of memory. You need to
Yeah.
remember 208 bones names. If you become a medical doctor,
Yeah.
it is a lot of memory. Chemistry
Yep.
is a subject where both logic and memory work together. That is
Yeah.
why many chemists are very good singers also. They are very good
Oh yeah.
musicians also. Yeah, many, even Professor Padmanabhan does a great job in Veena thing,
Oh
instrument.
yeah.
See, this chemistry is a master. It will really make your certain parts of your brain very active, where memory and logic have to go together.
One
These
more thing,
two things
Anu.
should, yeah,
One more thing. I think this is for all the students. Take life very simple, little light.
yeah.
Don't make it so seriously. I think this is also comes with chemistry, because we all know that nothing much
That
survive
you
after
need
100
not
years.
tell Manoj. They already know about it. They are on the lighter side of the life, and
Wow.
I want them to be little more serious,
Go ahead.
because we have organized this seminar. I think you can imagine bringing the people from so many sects onto one platform
Yeah.
is not that
Correct.
easy. Pharma giants and academic leaders and industry owners bringing. See whether you appreciate or believe me or not. Maybe Padma Shri is an institution which conducted not less than 30 webinars. In each
Great.
webinar, there are more than see, the challenge we have taken it as an opportunity. That's what I
Wonderful.
say, that always you should take a challenge as an opportunity. COVID is a challenge, but we took it as an opportunity to bring you from Kerala to Bangalore and to bring Dr. R.P. Singh from Mysore to Bangalore and on the same
Yeah.
day, to bring Srinath from his busy schedule to our institution. It is a real great tough job, but they are there with you. You should take this as an opportunity. We should not beg you to attend the webinars. This is an opportunity, utilize it and try to understand what exactly we are meaning. It is not only for the sake of documentation or for the sake of anything. For the documentation, 10 webinars or 10 seminars are enough for me. Why should I take the pain? Because of this, what we are losing is we are losing connectivity with our family, our good friends. Always we are busy and ending up with a neck pain after the end of the seminar, and ending up with the spondylitis. All these things, in this age, why you are taking for the benefit of the students. If you are an
Yeah.
academician, I want to do the best. I want to give my best out of the thing, students. Please try to understand and try to take the advantage. And all the speakers are available. If you just send a mail stating that I am student of Padma Shri, I attended your webinar, I have this doubt. You can approach anybody who have come and spoken on behalf of all the academic, all the speakers. I am giving you this assurance. Once
Uh,
again, yeah.
Ma'am, before getting into another question,
Mm,
there is an announcement.
mm,
Feedback link is being posted in the chat box. I
mm.
request all the participants to give the valuable feedback. And there is one more question, ma'am. Can I go for
Yeah,
that?
please. Please.
Anushri is asking, like, what is the scope of genetics in this era, especially in the industry?
Though I
Like,
am not the right person to answer this question,
But
probably
I
Anu should
will
answer.
answer that. Genetics is everything. Now, genetics is everything. Gene sequencing is happening to identify Britain virus. That is everything. And see, always I used to get fascinated. I'm throwing you a Nobel Prize winning challenge. If you can really solve it in your lifetime, I'm sure you will be worth getting a Nobel Prize. Is virus a most evolved organism or we?
Wow,
Anybody can answer this.
that is Vedanta, Anu. I think you have gone to Vedas.
Yeah, it is metaphysics finally. Okay. See, everyone will do with one motivation. Dog
Yeah,
lives for with a motivation. Every system in this live with a motivation. But what is the motivation of a virus?
absolutely. Brilliant. Mm.
What is the motivation of a virus? It is non-living outside and it becomes living once it enters into your body. And why should it cause the disease to the extent of spoiling the entire system? A small piece of RNA,
And
a
it,
very
it doesn't
small piece
it,
of
it
RNA.
doesn't want to kill also, Anu. It doesn't want to kill the horse. It wants the horse to
Yes,
survive so that
survive.
it can keep on replaying. That's a brilliant
Yeah,
scenario.
that's what that's the thing. That is why it is coming down. We are thinking that we contained
Yeah,
something. We are taking patting our shoulders and telling that we contained the virus. We have not contained the virus. Virus don't want to kill the host. So it is coming down. It has to come down. The peak of growth curve, you can see that. What is the motivation of that? Do we have any simple? I think, Manoj, I feel there might be a very, very, very simple solution to kill the virus. Very simple solution.
don't
Just
don't do that. Don't do that. There is only hope for the Earth to survive. Okay.
yeah. See,
I hope
yeah,
you
but
understood the pun.
I'm telling,
Understood the pun in it. Okay.
yeah. See, when you are trying to, we are really going beyond our efforts and trying to identify a solution for that. Maybe very simple solution will be lying before you. It is as simple as our biofortification project, Manoj. People are
Correct.
trying with genes and trying to put genes to fix the iron and all. Why you have to do that? It is very simple. If iron is there, plant will fix it. That you have to understand is simple. As you said, you need to know simple solubility. I also say that very simple logical sense you need to identify a solution. You need not be a biochemist. You need not be a scientist. If your logical sense and
Yep.
identifying the solution for a problem and identifying a challenge will really take you to the again. I am talking you, there are lot of opportunity in genetics. You have rare diseases, you have genetically oriented diseases. Genetic counselors are the most wanted. We don't have enough genetic counselors. Genetic counselors we wanted, and we want many other things, but genetics is a subject. Again, it is a subject with science and mathematics. you
But
know yeah.
one simple concluding remark from my side, because I need to sign out now. The only advantage of
Yeah,
genetics is,
yeah,
like, it is again simple. Only four compounds to deal with, so you don't have to deal beyond that point. So that way, I think life is much simpler in genetics. Don't try
yes.
to remember all the sequences of genes. Rather,
Hmm.
just stick on with the four compounds which you have to deal. So I think life will be much simpler.
so
Okay.
one last question, sir.
ATGC.
Oh, okay.
How can we relate a
Yeah.
nutraceutical product with the food processing and cooking? So this is the question.
Okay. I think let me just try to put
I think
my
I can
point of view.
answer
Probably
this.
Anu can. Okay, Anu, go
Yeah,
ahead. Let me sign
yeah.
out then.
Please go.
Thank you. Bye bye, all of you. Best
Yeah, please,
wishes.
Manoj.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
I'm signing out. Yeah.
See, yeah, no, Manoj. Thank you, Manoj.
Bye.
What is see? Can you please repeat the question, Netra?
How can we relate nutraceutical product with food processing and cooking?
Yeah, wonderful question. How how this confluence of nutraceutical is happening with food processing and cooking. See, in food processing, many of us will think that food processing is processed food is junk. Processed food is not junk. We are making it junk by adding unwanted substances to that. For example, if you take some jam, if you are adding a preservative or a color to the jam, the essence of jam. Why we have to do jam? Because lot of produce is going waste. It is 80 to 90% is going to waste in the fields itself. So if you have to pay the farmer, if you can make it into a value-added product and available product. For example, mangoes are not available throughout the year. If you want to eat a mango jam in the unseason, and when the mangoes are overproduced, you need to make some products with it. When you are doing it with it, you can add a nutraceutical preservative. For example, apple seed extract, grape seed extract, preservative property at the same time health benefit property. You have to think in these lines. There are many nutraceuticals which can be replaced. You can replace synthetic food colors completely. You can replace in food processing industry with nutraceuticals with antioxidant benefits. You can take a gyre of colors from the fruits and flowers available around. From algae, you can take completely all colors can be replaced. All synthetic flavors can be replaced. So many things can be replaced. That's how you can connect. That's why nutraceuticals and food processing is being asked to study together. Himalayan Drugs is a nutraceutical company. Now they have a food division separately. What they are doing? If you want to have a high protein product, protein extraction is what? There are therapeutic proteins which can be extracted in the nutraceutical mode. That's how you should be able to connect the dots. Very good question. I really appreciate the question. The people who posed this question, you need to learn. In our college also, most of you are giving a lot of importance to food processing and giving little less importance to nutraceutical when it comes to nutraceutical. But there are many challenges. You can become the pioneer. You can become the forerunner and give solutions. Leavening agents, preservatives, food colors, synthetic flavors, all these things can be replaced with nutraceuticals. You can now, people are talking so much. Today also there is going to be a talk in the evening. If you are interested, you can attend to that talk. I'm giving on immune boosting properties of nutraceutical. There I'm going to mention about all this. I hope I cleared your doubt. But still, if you have any doubts, you can please contact me. Netra?
Yes, ma'am. Can I conclude, ma'am?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, you can conclude. No need for my concluding remarks because I have given after each talk. You can conclude, Netra.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. It's now the conclusive session. We have moved to the conclusive part. It is the time to thank one and all, without whom this event would not have been successful. So, on behalf of Padma Shri Institute of Management and Sciences, I thank Shri Nayanappa Sir, Managing Trustee PGI, Shri Satish Sir, Chairman, Professor Shenoy Sir, Director, especially our beloved Principal Ma'am, Dr. Anuradha M., Padma Shri Institute of Management and Sciences, and also our eminent guest speakers, Mr. N.S. Srinath, Director, Muck Life Sciences, Bengaluru, Dr. R.P. Singh, Senior Principal Scientist, CSIR, CFTRI, Mysuru, Professor Kshama Hiremat, Co-founder and CEO, Trident Diagnostics and Healthcare Private Limited, Bengaluru. Dr. C.N. Manoj, CEO, Pelican Biotech and Chemical Labs, Kerala. Dear faculty members, webinar organizing team, and all the participants. Thank you, one and all. Ma'am, can we end the session?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
With a big thank you note for all the speakers and participants.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you all. Meet you in the next webinar.